It's America's home for political play-by-play. It's the Owen Report with Owen Schroyer.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, on this Tuesday, August 11th, 2026. Welcome into your home for political play-by-play, the fastest 3 hours on the internet. The Owen Report starts now. How's everybody doing out there today? I have this problem at the beginning of every week. It's usually Tuesday or Wednesday when it's the worst. But I'm sitting there, I'm getting things ready. I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, it's only Tuesday? Damn it, it's only Tuesday? What in the hell? Usually it's Wednesday when it's like, whoa, it feels like Thursday or Friday. It's already happening on Tuesday. And you know what else I'm hearing a lot of out there too now? I'm hearing a lot of people talking about how time feels like it's condensing, how time feels like it's getting shorter. What is going on here, guys? What is going on with this thing we called consciousness? With this divine life we have here on planet Earth. What in the heck is going on? Well, I don't know, but we're going to talk about it today. We're going to talk about what's going on in the political world today. I have to tell you, it's been interesting. As you're well aware, I'm sure by now, our operating system for the show here, StreamYard, is having technical issues. By the way, this has been confirmed now. And StreamYard is apparently addressing some things behind the scenes. I won't spend a bunch of time on that right now. Maybe I'll talk about that later for a different reason. But I have to say, it's been refreshing because I've had to make an adjustment to how I do the prep work for the show. And since playing clips is not really viable right now, the prep work has totally changed. It's very traditional today. It's straight news today, straight headlines today. I even got some show notes that I'm gonna riff off today as well. So it's amazing. You purge the clips from the process, and all of a sudden, a new creative opportunity opens up. So we got a lot of headlines, and then I'm just gonna kind of riff on some other things right now that are happening. Is time condensing though? Seriously? You know, we got a big event coming up this Wednesday. I'll tell you what's going to happen tomorrow night. If you're looking up at the skies tomorrow night, you might see something special. But we'll get to that later. So here's what we have in the news today. Well, Trump's approval rating is down in the dumps. It seems like this is the every week now they talk about. There's some new poll. It's always a new poll where Trump is reaching a record low approval rating. So one week it's this poll, the next week it's that poll. Some polls have them in the 40s, some polls have them in the 30s. But they all say the same thing. It's trending down and fast. It's all trending down and fast. And so this leads us, of course, to the impact of the midterms, which we have big elections tonight. There's a couple elections that are going to be... I feel like tonight's primaries for the Democrats are going to be the big mile markers. And it was El Sayed winning his primary against the Democrat Party establishment. And now you've got a couple of other statewide elections tonight where a socialist is running against an establishment Democrat. And if the socialists win these races, and these are in swing states, by the way, very important to point that out. These are in swing states. I feel like the third mile marker of a socialist beating establishment Democrat, I feel like that's kind of a threshold being crossed. So the first kind of step into true socialist party mantra was really kind of an AOC, and you had a Max Frost, and then that kind of influenced some other things. I guess people would make the claim Bernie Sanders. Technically, he's an independent, but Bernie's like, he's kind of like a leftover hippie, right? He's like that hippie that won't, he's like some 60s, 70s commie hippie that just won't go away. He won't, it's like he's been in the back of the van smoking the same joint for 50 years. So I don't think Bernie Sanders really counts. It's like, oh, you're going to the same music festival. Bernie's in there in the back of the van smoking it up. It's like, oh, it's just Bernie. So I don't know if we really count that. I guess people could make that argument, though. But there's things that you see some people on the right wing addressing this. You see others on the right wing refusing to address this. And it's the economic issues, it's the foreign policy, and it's the generational politics that are happening now. And so there are some other stories we're going to look at. That's what they're now calling it, guys. They're all calling it generational politics now. That's another one coined by right here on the Owen Report. I don't know. Maybe it comes from some past time. I never heard it before I was saying it, though. But that's what this is. And so will the Democrats, depending on how tonight's results go, would the Democrats be willing to turn the party over to Democrat socialists? Because when you go look at left-wing media right now, the Democrat Party and the older Democrats, your James Carville types, your loudmouths, John Fetterman even, and they're all coming out. They're rejecting the socialists. They want to stick on the foreign policy that's been happening their entire lives. And so will the Democrats accept our only way forward now is through Democrat socialism, or the Democrat socialists now running the party? They might have to start seriously talking about that. Any denial of this after tonight could be their sign that it's time to just let them take it over. Pelosi's going to retire. So let's keep an eye on the response. Now, obviously, there's more primaries that need to follow, so I don't think you'll really know what kind of crater these results could leave tonight. But that's what we're going to be looking at. So then you look at President Trump. Now, there's this story today about Trump sneaking off Air Force One onto a different plane. It's very strange, this story. Something doesn't add up to me with this story. And it's an unfortunate situation where if you take it at face value, it looks really, really bad. Now, it wouldn't surprise me that the Trump administration would do something like this. It kind of this is kind of the attitude of all of Washington, D.C. and the Trump administration now. It's basically, you people are just cannon fodder. You people don't matter. Oh, somebody's going to blow up Air Force One? Send the media on the plane to get blown up. Trump's going to sneak off and go on this different plane. So I guess that's what they're telling you. And that's what you're supposed to believe. And there'll be members of the media, and maybe they have a fair point. I don't know. Do you expect every time you get on Air Force One to get shot out of the sky? Probably not. But I guess that's the argument. It's like, oh, well, you know the risks when you get on the plane. I've never done it, so I don't know. Do they make you sign a waiver? I don't know. But they snuck Trump off. They let everybody else take off. So obviously there's a bit of a backlash. But here's what's strange about it. It seems like the media got a hold of this story, and then the Trump administration tried to control the narrative. And none of it really makes sense, but we'll take a look at that. We've been talking about morale, military morale, and we've been concerned about this, actually. And there's a new story today from the USS Lincoln. More signs that morale is not good. Morale in the military is down. And it's kind of this sick display we keep seeing. I saw Hegseth do it the other day. And then he was in South Carolina. And they're running all of these ads right now. They're bragging about military recruitment being up. And it's kind of a grotesque thing because they know this war is unpopular. Maybe the most unpopular war in modern American history, depending on who you ask or what poll you look at. But I mean, it's pretty much universally accepted that this is the least popular war in modern American history. And they all know it, by the way. Of course they know it. They can feel it. And they're out here bragging about how they recruited all of these people now. So, hey, we lied about a war. So it's even more disgusting because they lied and they said no new wars. So then they did a massive recruitment drive and then they started a new war. And now people are dying in a war against Iran that was never supposed to happen. And so morale is going down. I think it's starting to catch up to Hegseth the most, maybe Vance as well. Trump seems completely unbothered by it all. Have you guys seen that image, by the way? It didn't make the final stack today. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't feel good about it. I don't even know what to feel, though. It's like my gut response upon seeing it is just like cringe, just like, ugh. But I really don't know what to think or feel. You've got Trump out on the golf course. He was at Trump Bedminster, New Jersey, playing around. And then I guess around the entire course, they have these stacks of barbed wire. I can't imagine the task that is. Do they leave it up all the time? I doubt that. So somebody's putting stacks of barbed wire up around the golf course so Trump can play around. And then they have surface-to-air missile launchers stationed around the golf course. And so there's Trump taking a swing. Somebody was able to get a picture of it. And you've got surface-to-air missiles sitting behind him, the barbed wire fence there, and it's like all to get in around a golf. I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. Naturally, it's cringe. Naturally, it's just a reminder of how sad and pathetic things are right now with our current politics and Washington, D.C. It's like, okay, I guess I get why they have to do it. Honestly, I bet Trump even tells them not to, quite frankly. I bet Trump is saying, don't do this. Just let me go play golf. And Secret Service and whoever else is in charge of security is probably saying, no, President Trump, we're going to do everything here. This is highest risk level we've ever dealt with. We're going to make sure everything is taken care of. So we're going to barbed wire it up. We're going to put missile launching pads around the golf course. I bet Trump hates it, but whatever, he wants to go play golf. It's just sad. And it really is kind of the image. I don't know. It didn't get as much play. It's almost the image of the year. I don't know. I can't think of a more powerful image to encapsulate where we are at right now in American politics, or just America in general, perhaps. There's Trump taking a golf swing with barbed wire and surface-to-air missiles behind him. I mean, that sums it up right there. And the photojournalist that got that picture, I'm sure had to do quite a bit of work to get in position to take that picture. I think they're even driving around. Have I seen him driving around in a bulletproof golf cart, maybe? I know the Pope has one of those. Very nice. I've seen it before. Very nice bulletproof golf cart that the Pope has there. So a really powerful image. I don't have it in the stack. Maybe we'll bring it up. Okay, then we got other military news, other geopolitical news. We got energy news. We got financial news. Oh, just as we predicted, by the way. This happens every time. Every administration does this. It's this game. It has a high success rate, so they all do it. The early jobs report numbers always come out, and they're not corrected for whatever this process is. They release the first numbers, and then there's some correction that happens, and the numbers always get lower. So the administration always releases the first numbers that they know are inaccurate. And then they say, look at how great this jobs report is. And then everybody, does their cheer. Yay, thank you, President. Woohoo, he's the greatest. And then a month or two later, they correct the numbers and they're, wherever they actually are. So this has happened again. So predictable. All those jobs numbers, the administration and its propaganda agents were claiming, don't exist. And neither do the mass deportations, by the way. And you can see this whenever the administration is looking for narrative control, whenever the administration is looking to either get ahead of a narrative or narrative control or force a different narrative, you see they've got a digital influence team. They've got a digital marketing team. And they get the commands to send out the messages. Now, I don't know how all of this works. I've seen the chat rooms. I've seen the email threads and everything else. I've been invited into these digital influence groups. I think I've pretty much been purged from every single one of them by now, though. They figured out I cover it without actually doing it. So I don't know what the deal is with that. A lot of people talk about Polymarket and others out there, and I'll just say this. I actually, Polymarket gets a hard time. I actually appreciate Polymarket. They are like overwhelmingly committed to making sure everything is above board. Where I know that there are these other groups out there that well, that's what I'm saying. I don't know how they work. I know that there is a pay-for-play operation happening, but there's no disclosures. There's no paid content disclosures here. Because I think their workaround is you're just spreading a message. So it's like you're part of this group, and then as part of this group, you just have certain social media posts, but you're not getting paid for the social media post. Technically, you're getting paid because you're part of this group over here that does something else, but then that's part of your deal. I don't know how that works. I don't do that. But you see a lot of people on X talking about how we need to be pinning down who it is engaging in these pay-for-play digital influence campaigns. But you know what? Whatever you want to think about that, the Trump administration is clearly doing this. And they're trying to do it right now about mass deportations. And so they have a bunch of people posting about deportation numbers and all this stuff, trying to, get some morale up for the deportations ahead of midterms. And they're just not happening. So Greg Bovino is correcting the record on that today. We'll take a look at this. And then how much are AI data centers and the surveillance state going to impact the midterms? And so I've got to look at some of this tech news today. And it's one of these issues where both sides of the aisle, Republicans, Democrats, liberals, conservatives, the general consensus is, hey, we want to maybe take a pause with AI or reevaluate some things. And then as far as the data centers are concerned, we'd like to take a total pause on that. As far as the flock cameras are concerned, we'd like to take a total pause on that. This is the consensus from all different political leanings, and yet big tech and Washington, D.C., and for whatever reason, the foreign lobby is very interested in building this AI surveillance state. Very, very interested in that. So we're going to take a look at that and the different things they're doing right now to try to get you to coalesce. And it's just not happening. We don't want this. We just don't want it. We don't think we need it. We don't think that you're being honest about what it's for. We're concerned about the environment. We're concerned about energy consumption, water consumption, and they're just trying to ram this thing home. And it's very, very suspicious. It's very, very suspicious. And it's very un-American, I think, inherently. Very un-American. So, all that and more coming up on today's Owen Report, brought to you by Crash Out Energy, the official energy drink of the Owen Report. So last night, you know, I have to think about my own marketing here. I have to think about my own branding here with Crash Out, because my whole design intention was, this is an energy drink for energy and focus. If you like drinking energy drinks at work or, you know, after lunch, whatever, before you get back to the afternoon grind, it's like, yeah, okay, you like an energy drink, but you don't want the toxic ingredients. You want something that gives you the energy plus the mental focus and is good for you. And so that was kind of the formula to put together Crash Out Energy. But I'm at the gym now. I've been handing this out to a bunch of my friends at the gym, and they all love it, but they're taking it as a pre-workout. And I guess it makes sense, especially if you like a caffeinated pre-workout that has kind of a backloaded caffeine release, then you'll like it for Crash Out. So some people are really liking it for a pre-workout. So if you're looking for a healthy pre-workout, maybe give Crash Out Energy. But for me, it's all about getting 200 milligrams of caffeine, my normal nootropics for mental energy, mental clarity, focus, plus the good stuff that's in it. That was my design, but people like it as a pre-workout too. So there you go. Multi-purpose Crash Out Energy. Get yours today at crashout.energy.
On the cutting edge of news and analysis, the Owen Report with Owen Schroyer.
All right, guys. So I'm sitting down earlier today. I'm having lunch before the show. And, you know, it's like I'm doing my normal news gathering, and, you know, I'm reading stuff, listening to the news, all of it. And I'm just like, it hits me. First of all, I'm feeling old, okay? That's not like a cliche type of thing. Like, I'm actually starting to feel old. And is it catching up to anybody else? I don't think I'm old. I'd like to think that I haven't even lived half of my life yet at 37 years old. So I don't really think I'm old, but I'm starting to feel old. But there's one thing I'm looking at right now, thinking about my age or maybe my experience. And I'm thinking about election cycles, because I'm watching what's happening right now with this election cycle, and I'm kind of flabbergasted, quite frankly. Mostly at the right wing, but really this applies all ways, all directions. And so I'm sitting here and I'm like, how is it that people have been going through, because I haven't been around for the most election cycles. I mean, 2008, Obama, 2010 midterms, 2012, Obama. I guess really the 2014 midterms. I mean, 2012, I guess 2012 was the first time I was in the media, but I was still doing sports. So I don't really know if I would count that as election coverage. I mean, everybody kind of knew Obama was going to win, I guess. I was on air saying Obama was going to win. That was basically my contribution, was I think Obama's going to win. And then 2014 was the first time I was kind of covering politics. And then obviously 2016 and the rest, so on and so forth. So really, this is only like my 10th election cycle. And okay, so here I am in my 10th election cycle, and it's like so obvious. It's so obvious, this left-right ping pong game they play. It's so obvious the bait and switch rug pulls Democrats do. It's so obvious the bait and switch rug pulls Republicans do. And then you start to realize, okay, here's why people on the left reach these conclusions about people on the right. Here's why people on the right reach these conclusions about people on the left. But then if you're somebody that's maybe principled or, you know, can sit here and watch the waves go back and forth and realize the whole left-right paradigm is fake. And then you're watching people just fall into the left-right, just fall right into the trap, just go right back to the trough for more slop. I'm just like, how do people fall for this? How do people fall for the same crap every election cycle? It's what it is. So I don't know why that hit me today as I'm watching the commentary. It's like, how do people still fall for this? I've been through 10 election cycles, and it's so obvious now. It's never been more obvious now. The whole left-right uniparty WWE show. How do people still fall for this crap? It's like, I'm going to go to bat for Republicans. Okay, maybe you think they're better than Democrats, but there's really no difference at the end of the day. You might have a 2-year difference, maybe a 4-year difference. There'll be small windows of time where things are different, but when you lump it all together, it all moves the same direction. Whether it's the left, whether it's the right, whether it's the Republicans, whether it's the Democrats, it all goes the same direction. More illegal aliens coming in, more foreigners coming in, more H-1B visas, more foreign workers, more taxes, more regulations, more government, more surveillance, more corruption. It all goes the same direction. It's like, sure, we pretend like, oh, left, right, paradigm, you know, we're, different parties do different things. It all goes the same direction no matter what. And I'm thinking about the accelerationist mindset. Because, you know, so much of voting, I think, definitely for me, so much of voting is just, who gives me the opportunity to go to the voting booth and give somebody one of these? What opportunity do I have? Because I'm not a fan of the government. Anytime I can stick it to the government, anytime I can give the government the middle finger, I want to take that opportunity. I can't help it. That's me. Maybe it's not you. Maybe you think that's a bad way to handle politics and handle elections, but you know what? It's who I am. I can't help it. It's who I'm going to be. Who gives me the opportunity to go to that voting booth and give a big fat middle finger to the government? Right there, buddy. Right there. Boom. Who gives me that opportunity? That's what I'm looking for. And for most of my time involved in politics, the vast majority of my time in media, that has been Donald Trump, generally speaking. Maybe at times people thought it was leftist or Democrats. Maybe at times people thought it was right wing. But, you know, Trump was the biggest middle finger. Trump was the biggest middle finger that we could give to the establishment, the biggest middle finger that we could give to the government. Now, I don't want to get lost in what's happening now. But I'm thinking about the accelerationists. I'm thinking about my mentality going in. And it really is the cringe factor of MAGA. And I'm not going to have these, you know, MAGA tards. I'm not going to have these MAGA cult members control me in any way, shape, or form. But there is a factor there. And it's not about me. I have one vote. My guess is my mind and the way I think and handle politics, there's a lot of people that do. In fact, we might be the most important group of swing voters, quite frankly, is the people that think like me. Because you never know which way we might go. And ultimately, it's the free thinkers in the middle that determine the outcome. 1/3 of people are always going to vote on the left. 1/3 of people are always going to vote on the right. That doesn't change. They don't change anything. It's the 1/3 of people in the middle that decide elections. So I'm thinking about all of these MAGA cult members attacking me, saying he's going to vote Democrat. How could he? All this stuff. And I'm like, well, I never said that. I don't think I'm going to do that. I don't know. But now with you guys, maybe I am thinking about it. Maybe I am. Now, I have to tell you, I will say, I am voting for Ken Paxton. I am definitely voting for Ken Paxton. So other than that, I don't really have much to offer. I live in Austin. Outside of Ken Paxton, all the Democrats are going to win. The propositions on the ballot have already come and gone, the ones that mattered. So I'll be voting for Paxton. That's really the only motivation factor I have in Texas. I don't want Tallarico. I don't want that little soy boy running around talking about trans kids. Get him out of here. Want nothing to do with that. So I'll be voting for Paxton. So that's really all that I guess matters. Otherwise, in my district, it's going to be all Democrats anyway. But I was thinking about it, as a message, oh, Schroyer's voting Democrats. Like, what does that even mean, guys? Why don't you calm down? Why don't you just relax, bud? But it shows how they're panicked because they know the whole thing is coming down, honestly. But that's what I'm looking at. I'm like, wow, here I am, multi-time Trump voter, one of the biggest Trump supporters out there. And MAGA has become so nasty. MAGA has become such a cringe fest. And now they're attacking me and saying I belong in jail for not being loyal to Trump, or I need to be censored because I disagree on foreign policy. And now I'm sitting here thinking, wow, Bing, right there, buddy, right there. So how many other Americans are going to go to the poll and, yes, vote Democrat just to give these people the middle finger? And I can't believe it. I mean, this is who you're riding with. I mean, we all saw it coming. MAGA is now the most cringe-worthy, sellout, phony, fraud, fop commentator people out there. They're obnoxious. They're unpopular. How many people are about to go to the poll just to give a middle finger to Mark Levin? How many people are going to go vote just to give a middle finger to the cat turds of the world? How many people are so sick and tired of these MAGA cult cringe freaks that they're going to go vote Democrat just to stick it in your face? And you say, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You're going to go vote for Democrats that are going to do this, that, and the other thing out of spite? Actually, yes, people will. Actually, yes, they will. But see, you don't get it. We don't believe in the left-right paradigm like you do. We don't sit here and praise politicians like you do. We don't sit here entrapped, ensnared by the Republican Party like you guys are. So one, yes, people will go vote to give you the middle finger. Two, they don't give a damn what you say about Republicans and Democrats anymore. It's over. You guys haven't realized this yet. It's all about the issues. It's all about perception. What is the perception? What are the issues? The perception is Trump has turned us over to big tech. What are the issues? They're building data centers. The perception is Trump has sold us out to Israel. What are the issues? We're in another war in Iran. These are the realities. You guys refuse to address these things. But I'm thinking about, okay, is that accelerationist? At the end of the day, is that considered accelerationist? And if so, what does that even mean? And I guess this is the measurement. If you are an accelerationist, you believe it's better to go through 2 years of potentially immense political pain. Think about the Biden years. You're willing to risk going through 2 years of really bad leftist Democrat nonsense because on the other side of that, you hope we can finally get what we thought we were getting with Trump. You hope, or many people, I guess, never believed you were getting anything with Trump. So, okay. I don't know how to rephrase it then, but essentially, you're willing to give the Republicans the middle finger and say, we're never putting you in power until you reform. We're never voting for you again until you drop the foreign lobby. We're never voting for you again until you put America first. And so on and so forth. And so, yes, if that means a couple years of radical leftist Democrats doing their thing that we all know they do, then they're willing to pay that price. Because the other option is if you go with the mindset of vote for Republicans because they're not Democrats, then basically you're saying, oh, well, okay, instead of having a 2 or 4 year whatever term of pain here, we'll just extend that over 10 to 12 years. So it won't feel as bad, but in 12 years, the result will be the same as it would be in 2 or 4 years. So let's just push that can down the road and try to enjoy our next 12 years. And then when everything's really bad, then we'll figure it out. Whereas an accelerationist says, hey, let's get the really bad out now and let's deal with the pain of it. And then let's engage in reform as soon as possible. And so I think that is the debate now, or this is the consideration of the accelerationist. And I don't know. I don't really know how I feel about it right now. Maybe there's an alternative. But it does seem like that is the dilemma. Do you give the Democrats power in order to try to reform the Republican Party within the next 2 to 4 to 6 years? Or do you just say, fine, I'll be loyal to the Republican traitors for another 5, 6 election cycles, and eventually they're going to do exactly what the leftists do anyway. Eventually the Republicans are going to do everything the Democrats do anyway. So you're always going to end up in the same spot. It's just a matter of, would you rather get to that spot in 12 years or would you rather get to that spot in 4 years? Seems that this is the accelerationist dilemma. Now, one other thing I want to address here before I do get to the news. I don't know how many of you actually follow what I do on X versus how many of you just tune in to the show every day. We're pretty active on X. And in the last 24 hours or so, I guess about last 48 hours, I've been digitally ramming heads with the MAGA cult. And it's funny because I see this one response quite often now. And they say, oh, Owen is just doing this for clicks. Owen is just doing it because he knows it'll, help his views go up or whatever, whatever that theory is, that direction is. But, it's funny because if you actually believe that, if you actually think that I'm doing something for popularity, or you actually think I'm doing something because it'll grow my channel because it's what everybody wants or it's how everybody's feeling, well, then wouldn't that be admitting that Trump is losing? The one thing that you guys could never admit to is that Trump might, have a trip or like a gray hair or a crooked toenail or something. So I find it ironic. You sit here all day long and you talk about how Trump is winning and he's more popular than ever, the poll numbers, 150% approval rating, all of this stuff. But then you tell me I'm going against Trump because it's popular and for clicks. So which one is it? If I'm going against Trump to be popular and get clicks, then wouldn't that mean going against Trump is popular and that's how the majority of people feel? And if Trump is so popular and everybody loves him so much and the approval rating is so great, then wouldn't me going against Trump be bad for my clicks and bad for my views? Which one is it, guys? I'm just curious. Just trying to figure it out. That's all we're doing here, guys. Just trying to figure it out, Just trying to figure it out. But you know what? Let me actually do this, because this was kind of an awkward block in the show today anyway. So I think it actually makes more sense for me to do this right now. Let me find this in my stack. Where is it? Well, now I can't find it. Oh, here it is. Okay. So there's a bunch of talk now. This is one example. And it's Jeremy Boring here, co-founder of the Daily Wire. And he's doing a show with James Lindsay, the powerhouse. James Lindsay is a powerhouse, a political powerhouse, or a political doughboy. So they're doing a show, and it's all about attacking Tucker Carlson and attacking Joe Kent and Marjorie Taylor Greene and all of these people that want to start a third party. Now, there's other examples of this. And the vast majority, if not all of these people, are neocons and foreign loyalists. And so if you want to know why this is happening, and I just want you to have this understanding because I think this is going to get a little louder, probably not till after the midterms, but I anticipate after the midterms, the volume on this is going to be turned way up, especially if the Democrats win, especially if the Democrats win in the midterms. The volume on this is going to be turned way up. What does this represent? What does it represent that a bunch of neocons and foreign loyalists are coming out against a third party? You know what that represents, guys? Because they know the Republican Party works for them. The neocons and the foreign lobby knows the Republican Party works for them. The Republican Party is the vehicle for the military-industrial complex. The Republican Party, well, I mean, you could argue both parties, but right now it's the Republicans leading the way. And it has been historically. So the foreign loyalists, the foreign lobbyists, the neocons, the military-industrial complex, they know the Republican Party is their vehicle to power and influence and wealth. And they know that if a third party emerges in 2028, the Republican Party is dead, and therefore the neocons and the foreign loyalists' vehicle to conquer our country disappears with it. And if the Democrats win in the midterms, it accelerates this entire process because that will be a stake in the coffin of the Republican Party. You know, most people listening to this are probably under a pretty confident belief that the Democrats are going to win big in the midterms and it's going to be a massive rebuke of Donald Trump. I'm not so sure. I do think the Democrats will take the House with a nice little majority. It's not going to be an overwhelming majority, but it'll be a nice little majority. It'll be enough where it's not going to be, sweating bullets every time there's a vote. The Senate, I think, still is maybe 50-50. I got the Senate at 50-50 right now. Alaska might end up being the one that breaks it, funny enough. But if the Democrats win, that's it. That's like this whole idea that Trump is being successful, this whole idea that the Republican policy is working for Americans right now and the messaging is getting people out and into belief. That is the beginning of the end. And then depending on what the Democrats want to do, I guess that'll kind of determine how ardent people become about a third party or the Republicans. But they know it. And so I anticipate there is going to be huge noise on stopping the rise of a third party ahead of 2028. Huge noise. And we all know why. So just be on the lookout for that. All right, but let's get into the news now, shall we? Let's get into the news. Light start here, guys. You're probably seeing this everywhere. They're saying it's the hottest summer ever. I'm not buying it. They say July was the hottest July ever. What do you guys think? Definitely not here. Definitely not in Texas. Usually in Texas by now, we're in a double-digit streak of 100-degree days. Usually in Austin, on August 11th, you're in a streak right now of multiple days over 100 degrees. I don't even think we've had more than a couple days over 100 degrees so far this summer. Maybe our streak is about to start now. I don't know if I'm buying it. I'm not buying it, actually. I do not believe that this has been the hottest July ever. Seems that you in the chat agree. So what's up with that? Who's cooking these books and why? And where are the climate change? Can I get a climate change activist on data centers? Please. Can Greta Thunberg, we need her to parachute into Ohio where they're about to build the biggest data center ever. Can I get Greta Thunberg on the ground? Greta, we need you now more than ever. Where are you? She's on some flotilla. Now she's doing foreign policy. What is going on, Greta? How dare you? How dare you? Where is Thunberg when you need her? 568 days into Donald Trump's second term, the president's net approval rating is negative 27. 34% approve, 61% disapprove. Now, this is an Economist story tracking YouGov, and these are multiple records right now. As far as a time is concerned, low approval rating, largest negative shift in approval rating. It's all happening right now for Donald Trump. It's so, guys, it's honestly so crazy. It's not even complex. It's the most simple thing ever. All Trump had to do, it's like there's even things that you can rationally kind of sit back and say, well, all right, it didn't happen, but it's not going to destroy everything. All Trump had to do was not start another war in the Middle East. That's it. Why is it so hard? Why is that so damn hard? That's all he had to do, was not start another war in the Middle East. It's over. That's cooked. That deal's done. And really, that is why everything else is being held up. It's why you're not getting mass deportations. Well, I guess there's other factors that go along with the mass deportations, but that's the other big one. Trump could have been more popular than ever. All he had to do was stay out of the Middle East. Even with the mass deportations, I mean, the hardcore Trump supporters, the ardent right-wingers, they're going to always be heavy on the mass deportations. But it's like, he could have found a way to kind of thread that needle, get some good numbers, but also not piss everybody off. But we couldn't even properly do that. His donors didn't want it. He's too distracted. The military's too distracted in the Middle East. So, okay, the two things. It's like, what are the two things that are going to be the most important factors for your approval? Don't get in a new war in the Middle East. Okay, let's do that then. You need to do mass deportations. Okay, well, we're not going to do that then. And then the rest is just history. Throw on the push for data centers. It's like, it's all negative. It's all going the wrong direction. And now socialists are winning elections. Exclusive. Francesca Hong takes on national security. So she's running against Trump's foreign policy. A smart move. Yeah. This will be one of the craziest candidates at a state level we've seen ever, maybe. Now, I will say this about her. I think she's been a little bit overwhelmed and maybe even shocked at her own success, because she does seem to be kind of toning it down and coming back down to earth. It's like she kind of has this like bug-eyed communist vibe. You know what I mean? She's got like the bug-eyed, whacked out socialist aura going. But lately she's kind of been cleaning it up. She's kind of been dressing more appropriately for the role. She's kind of speaking like a normal person. So she's getting a little more polished here. And that's going to be very important for her in the governor's race when she actually has to run against a Republican. But this is going to be big. Can a Democrat socialist win at a state level? Democrat rebellion against older politicians reaches new battleground. Former Hartford Mayor Luke Bronin, 47 years old, is challenging Representative John Larson, who is 78, and running for his 15th term representing Connecticut's 1st District. You know what they're calling it? They're calling it generational politics. And that's what it is. And it looks like the left could be ahead of the right on this issue. The right wing is just clinging to the geriatric representation. The right wing is clinging to the current generational power status, and they're trying to block out younger people. They're trying to block out fresh ideas. They're trying to block out actual populism and nationalism. So what you have is the left-wing youth is becoming socialists. The socialists are taking over the Democrat Party. The right-wing youth is nationalist, populist, but the neocons, Trump has given them back control of the party, and they're now blocking out the nationalists, blocking out the populists. And you feel like if the Democrats embrace the socialists and embrace the younger generational left, that's going to give them probably an edge in the next couple of election cycles. You can only cling to the boomer vote for so long, guys. You can't do it forever. U.S. primaries offer fresh test of Democrats' leftward surge. So, yeah, it's going to be Minnesota. It's going to be Wisconsin. It's going to be Michigan at a state level. And then you're going to have some other races like the one we just mentioned in Connecticut. Smaller races that could see an establishment Democrat get ousted by a socialist. So, we're just trying to enjoy our summer here. That's all. Just trying to enjoy our summer before this insane midterm election starts. Just get ready, guys. You're going to hear some of the craziest socialist stuff. You're going to hear socialists speaking on the final debate stage for statewide elections, guys. You're going to see it. Just get ready. Just to get ready, guys. And then you're going to see the right wing try to deny the younger generations taking over the Republican Party. And then in that instant, there might be one more opportunity. I think the mind has already been made up. We know who. But maybe there's an opportunity for the Republicans to say, all right, hold on. We see you guys building a coalition. Don't leave the party. Let's bring you back in. Let's see what we need to do. Let's give you a platform. We'll platform your ideas. Let's give it a fair shot. Or I would say that's probably it. A third party will emerge in 2028. And the rejection, the Republican establishment rejection of the younger populist nationalist movement will ultimately be their final downfall, if that is indeed the direction that they decide to go.
You're listening to the Owen Report on the Win Network.
Navigating between the sane and insane, it's the Owen Report with Owen Schroyer.
All right, second hour of today's transmission starts now. I want to get into this story here. It's not a good look. It's hard to figure out what exactly the Trump administration is thinking releasing this. I've got my theories. Doesn't look good, guys. Trump's Air Force One escape while leaving journalists on decoy flight sparks online media fury. Trump mercilessly used White House officials and reporters as decoys amid Air Force One threat. Donald Trump has been accused of using reporters and White House staff as decoys as he allegedly secretly fled the aircraft they were on and took a covert flight from Turkey after the NATO summit. Now, you've got to wonder why this story even gets out. And I saw some weird commentary last night from what I can only assume was a digital influence ploy that was discussing the risks of getting on Air Force One. And I'm like, well, this is strange. And then the story comes out, and I'm like, okay, so the administration was getting ahead of it. How do we feel about this? Because this looks bad. Let's just say it. This looks bad. Trump sent off Air Force One with a bunch of press and staff on it, and he got off the flight because they believed it was a risk to what? Get shot out of the sky? Get blown out of the sky? I think the obvious question here is, so you don't have the common decency to tell others on that plane why you're getting off or that you are getting off? I don't know how you get around that one. That is pretty cold, to say the least. That is pretty cold. And they snuck them off. And now there's these videos of it. I don't even know what you would do in that situation, but I would assume standard protocols would be nobody boards that flight. Nobody's getting on that flight. Not, hey, send a bunch of innocent people up there to get blown out of the sky while Trump sneaks off on another jet. That's like mafia gangster shit. That's like cold-blooded killer shit. I don't know how else I'm supposed to interpret that, honestly, guys. And I wonder if there isn't something else to this story, because the timing of it all is strange. And the fact that they were already running narrative control before the thing even dropped is even more strange. But regardless of any conspiracy theories, I don't know how else I'm supposed to interpret. They sneak President Trump off the plane because they believe the plane could get blown up, but they don't tell anyone else, and they let other innocent people board it. I mean, folks, I don't know how else to interpret this. But the White House is trying to turn this into a positive. And they're trying to make it out like, oh, 007 Trump, James Bond Trump. Look at this maneuver. And they're sharing this out. So again, my guess is they knew this was coming out. Somebody already had the story. So they said, let's just get out in front of it. Let's just do narrative control. Let's tell people they know it's a risk. Let's tell people this is Trump Bond, James Bond Trump. Everybody will love it. You know, the Trump cult will slop it up. Yikes, guys. Yikes. Yeah, I wonder who was on that flight. I wonder who the passengers on that flight were that didn't get the memo. Who were the passengers on the flight that Trump sent up there on a plane that he wouldn't get on because he thought it was going to get blown up? Wonder if they'll have anything to say. I wonder. We've been hearing about military morale not being good. USS Abraham Lincoln families press Navy leaders over sailors' mental health. Now, this is a little beyond my pay grade, and I don't really like to get into this stuff for a couple of reasons. I like to leave this stuff to the veterans because I don't understand this life, guys. I've not been in the military. I've got military on both sides of my family, but that was never my life. So I don't know. I don't like getting involved in military lifestyle stuff because I just don't know it. I've never lived that. I can talk about foreign policy and how it might affect morale, but you know, when people are coming to me with these stories, I just don't know. I don't know. And we've heard the stories about some of these ships that are out there extended beyond their normal time. They're running out of food. The soldiers are apparently rebelling and clogging the toilets. By the way, that's what they do in prison. That's a tactic of rebellion that people do in prison, is they flood the deck. So we've heard these stories. And so now we're hearing stories about this USS Lincoln. And apparently the military families are even getting involved in this, and they're reaching out to other media. Apparently people are jumping off the ship. All kinds of crazy stuff going on with this. But, and this is where it's like, I just don't know. I've never been in the Navy. I've never lived on a ship. I've never been stationed overseas. So it's hard for me to interpret that as like, is it normal or is it not normal? Some of the stuff that I'm hearing. But it sounds like these soldiers are not in a good mood, is what it sounds like. And it sounds like the family is starting to get a little concerned. Now, apparently the whole thing is like tight-lipped, locked down. They're not letting anybody communicate. Like it's like cut off the internet if we have to. Again, I don't know. I don't know if that's normal. I don't know the normal protocols when it comes to security and communication. This is just what I'm being told. And there's like no way for them to get any information out. There's no way for them to communicate about morale. There's obviously, I'm sure, other factors involved. But we're just hearing about these rebellions. We're hearing about them jumping off the ship. And I think it makes sense. I think it makes sense because that's just how unpopular this war is. That's how unpopular this war is. And many Americans, I'm sure they're in the military too, feel that they were lied to. Many Americans probably joined the military thinking there'd be no new wars. Many young Americans probably joined the military believing Donald Trump when he said no new wars. And then they end up overseas. They end up back in the Middle East. They got friends getting blown up. They're stuck on ships weeks, months longer than they're supposed to be. Would it really surprise you if some of that angst didn't turn into rebellion? Apparently this thing is like real tight-lipped. And again, I don't like getting too much into it because I just don't know the lifestyle. It's hard for me to really put anything together because I've never done it. But it's like, this is what I'm being told. It's like, oh, it's real tight-lipped. They're all pissed off. They're trying different ways to rebel, force the ship to dock, but there's no means of communication. So maybe there'll be more on this story as the days go on. How about the reflecting pool? Oh my gosh, this deal. Looks like Jeanine Pirro stood her ground and won. Of course, Trump's not going to stop taking shots. President Trump is continuing to criticize U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro's decision to drop the reflecting pool vandalism case against former Olympian David Hearn in a new social media post while admitting to some contractor error on the project. Oh, and it's another one of these It's another one of these Trump essays. This is what happens. It's like the more words in a Trump post, the more he's crashing out, the more he's covering up for some egg on his face. It's like the more characters in a Trump post, the more shit in his britches. He says a National Park Service career employee, highly credible witness, saw David Hearn act blue in broad daylight, vandalizing the reflecting pool by violently ripping and tugging at the pool's somewhat delicate coating. Oh, so it wasn't a cutter now. So now we've changed the narrative from he used a box cutter for 200 yards to now he was ripping at it. He was in there tugging at it. Guys, Trump is such a liar. I mean, you know, here's the problem. This is just natural human instinct. This is just natural human psychology. You lie to me once, you lie to me twice, you're just a liar. Trump's just a liar, guys. And you know what? I'd love to sit here and say, hey, Trump's, an honest person, but he just lies about this. You can't treat it that way. Nobody treats it that way. I mean, and this is like the most low, like, why are you lying about the reflecting pool? And see, and that's how you know this guy's he's just gone, guys. I'm sorry, he's just gone. He has no tether to the truth. He has no tether to reality. Loyalty is a one-way street to him. He's gone. He's in a different world. And whoever it is gatekeeping this world and propping this world up for him, that's all that matters. The soldiers that die, nobody cares. All the American people paying gas, highest price, they don't care. They don't give a damn. Trump is so low now that he's degraded himself to lying about the reflecting pool again and again and again. It's like, you know what? The president wants to lie about not blowing up 200 schoolgirls. I guess I can get that. I guess I can understand why if you got to tell a lie, that's kind of the one you tell, right? It's like, yeah, I'm going to just lie about that. All right, okay. The reflecting pool? This is your lying hill to die on? The reflecting pool job? This is how embarrassed you are at your con job? This is how embarrassed you are at your narcissistic ego that forced this rush job and caused this deal? Now it's going to cost us tens of millions of dollars? And here's the problem you have if you actually follow news, because I can already see, I'm probably open the chat right now. I'm sure there's all these Trump supporters. Oh, and it was vandalism. Oh, this, oh, that. Yeah, because you guys have no memory. Because you guys can't cover news. Trump literally said multiple times that the coating they were putting down was impenetrable. He basically claimed that they were putting mithril down as the coating, an invincible layer that cannot be broken or penetrated. That was Donald Trump's claim. Now, I get it. He just makes stuff up. He just lies naturally now. He just makes stuff up. It's all part of this TV show act that he's got us all distracted with right now. So did he mean it when he said that the upper layer here is going to be the strongest coating ever imaginable? Yes, he was lying then too. Don't you get it now? He just goes up there and just makes crap up. But he's the one that said it. Oh, but now apparently somebody's in there running around, ripping it out with his bare hands. Oh, and I'm sure a National Park Service career employee saw that happening and did nothing too, right? So this is now the big story that Trump wants you to believe. It's crazy that people still believe this man. Honestly, it is. But hey, they still do. So I guess for him, why not? Just keep lying. They still lead it up. So now the story is David Hearn is now, he's thrashing about. He's thrashing about in the reflecting pool. He's a madman. He's like on crack now. He's cracked out. He's thrashing and splashing. He's ripping up. He's like the Hulk out there. And here's a Parks Department employee who's just watching it, guys. He's just watching it. He's not filming it. He's not approaching the individual. He's not writing a ticket. He's not writing a citation. He's not going to get the information. He's not doing anything. He's just watching this guy in the reflecting pool thrashing about like a madman doing nothing. That's what we're supposed to believe now. So first it was, this is going to be the greatest reflecting pool of all time. And the coating we're putting down is impenetrable. Then in less than a month, all the coating has frayed and the reflecting pool is drained and we have no reflecting pool. To then somebody cut it 200 feet with a box cutter. Oops, there's no evidence of that. Okay, somebody was in there playing around, thrashing about like the Hulk, and somebody saw it too. He saw it too. Yeah. And now that's the story they want to believe. And Jeanine Pirro is just sitting here like, Mr. President, this was a contractor error. They had to rush the job. They didn't take time to actually dry the pool before applying the coat. And so it bubbled up and it destroyed the coating. And now we have to redo it. That's what happened, Mr. President. I have no evidence of any wrongdoing here. So he says, but Jeanine, I need to lie to cover for I have to lie, Jeanine. Jeanine, I have to lie to cover for myself. It's for the country, Jeanine. You need to lie for the country, Jeanine. And that's how Trump approaches it. He just views himself as God now because he's the president. And Jeanine said no. And she was right. And good for Jeanine. Yeah. And then he attacks Jeanine again. Then he attacks James Comey. Now Comey's involved out of nowhere. You know, it's really too bad, guys. You know what is the most unfortunate about all of this now? Because Trump has become so unhinged, because Trump has turned in to be such a lying traitor, it's like all that stuff now, it all goes away with Trump. So it's like all the corruption from the Obama years, all the corruption from the Biden years, all those corrupt officials, it's like all that corruption now because of Trump, now it's all gone, guys. It's all gone. Now that Trump has become a crazed madman, now that Trump has become corrupt himself, it's gone. It's over. Nobody's happier with the results of President Trump right now than Barack Obama and Joe Biden. They feel they are clear as an eagle in the sky. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. They're all corrupt. They're all compromised in one way, shape, or form. There's nothing Trump can do about Biden. There's nothing Trump can do about Obama. They're all corrupt. They're all blackmailed. One goes down, they all go down. Your only hope is that Q is real. That is your only hope right now, is that Q is real. And there really is a large plan. That's your only hope. Anything short of that, you got nothing. You got a madman here that continues to lie about a reflecting pool story. That's how shallow this man is. That's how self-conscious this man is about his own ego and his own reputation, that he feels he has to lie to cover up for the fact that he rushed a job for his birthday, and now he's cost the U.S. taxpayers probably $20-30 million on this deal. So he's lying about it. And he's trying to put an innocent man in prison to protect his own reputation. That's where we're at with Donald Trump. And so now, because Trump is that bad, and now because Trump looks like a mad fool, now all the things he said about Obama, all the things he said about Comey, all the things he said about Biden, all these things now go out the window with the Mad Hatter, Donald Trump. All of these things now disappear into the abyss with Trump's reputation. Just totally destroyed it all. Oh, what could have been? What could have been? So Gavin is, I think, testing this out. And by the way, you know, I do think the Democrats probably fired their shot too quickly on the anti-Trump stuff, because now is when they could be cashing in. If the Democrats were running on the anti-Trump stuff now, they'd be doing huge numbers. But it's like they already did that and failed, so they're not. So they're like, that doesn't really work. Trump's popular now, except he's not. So everyone's always behind us, guys. But Gavin Newsom, I think Newsom is starting to see around the corner. And I think Newsom is going to decide, okay, why don't we start testing this? Gavin Newsom tells Detroit Church Trump wants to bring us back to a pre-1960s world. Anti-woke is nothing more than anti-black. We know that. So don't take this too seriously. This is Gavin Newsom just testing. That's what he's doing. This is Gavin Newsom just kind of putting out probes. Detroit, Michigan, swing state. Come on, guys, do the math. So this is all strategic to see what kind of response he gets. This is all strategic to see, okay, is it time to run against Trump? Is it time to do the anti-Trump campaign again? It's failed in the past, but I think it could work again. Newsom is testing this ground, and he's testing it in swing state Michigan. And I think Newsom is starting to realize now, maybe that's the way to go. Oh, he's running for president. He's running. And he's just trying to decide the platform he wants to run on. Well, might have some other ethical problems here. Pete Hegseth's Pentagon picks raise questions over Trump's family business ties. 2 advisors have links to venture fund co-investing in U.S. defense companies that benefit from federal spending. I like Blake Masters. I don't really have much of an opinion on Mark Andreessen. But these were 2 people brought in, and both have connections to the defense industry that benefits from these federal contracts. So, you know, I don't know if this is really a big story, but I don't know if there's a there, but certainly this is going to be another avenue the Democrats go down if they get into power to take down Trump and to start impeachment hearings and trials and everything else. So it's just so messy, man. This thing is just so messy. Speaking of messy, how's that no new wars going? This is a disaster. Gulf states accept a new normal in Hormuz. Iran is in control. Oil and gas exporters dislike the emerging deal to reopen the waterway, but see it as the least bad option. Trump is losing everybody, guys. He's losing everybody. He's lost. He's lost in his own world. He's lost in his own ego. Whatever this thing is going on with him, Messiah complex, I don't know. Guys, he's gone. He doesn't realize what the hell is going on. I don't think anybody even takes him seriously anymore, guys. I got to be honest. It all feels like lights, camera, action, and that's it. And I think the rest of the world views it that way, and they are just saying, look, let's just wait till the show's over. The world cannot move forward with this man anymore. And it's so ironic because it was supposed to be our great reset. It was supposed to be us destroying the globalist agenda and a re-emerging nationalist populist movement. And then Trump ended up going with the globalists, destroying the national populist movement. And now they're all looking at him like, okay, he's cooked. It's like they thought he would be their top guy. They thought he could get in there and re-maneuver America here into working for them and change hearts and minds and negotiate the whole deal. The whole thing's falling apart. I don't think the world leaders even look at him as somebody they can trust anymore. I don't think world leaders look at Trump as even somebody they can take seriously anymore. I think everybody's waiting Trump out now. It's not just the American people. I think the international community is now trying to wait this guy out too, with the chaos that he's created. And none of it to benefit us, by the way. None of it to benefit us. So now everybody's looking at this absolute disaster in the Middle East. And the truth is, for Trump, I guess really his biggest mistake was not just going all out in Iran. And that's what they're telling him right now. And maybe they're going to try to twist his arm to do it. It's disgusting. It's despicable, these warmongers. And if Trump does it, he's a monster. But it's like, that's the deal. That's the deal now. Trump has no option except all-out war with Iran. And everybody knows what happens if that goes down. Everybody knows what happens if Trump does that. It's beyond over. And the world doesn't want it either. Israel wants it, and that is it. Everybody else wanted a deal. You know, if there had to be some skirmishes, some war, some battles, like, it's okay. But everybody wants a deal. They're not looking for a war here. They're not looking for an extended war. They're not looking for a conflict. They're not looking into stuff that's going to stop the shipping market, stop the oil markets. Nobody wants that. And so they actually probably thought Trump could get in there, get a quick deal done, turn it around, and get everybody moving in the right direction. Maybe they like the Iranian leadership. Maybe they don't. Maybe they're indifferent. But that was Trump's big promise. So Netanyahu comes in, the Adelson money comes in. They say, you're going to do a regime change war in Iran. Go out there and lie to the American people. Tell them you're not going to do it. You are going to do it. So then Trump immediately does it. Can't do it. Doesn't want to do an all-out war because that would be bad. He told all his international trading partners, he told all of his friends in the Gulf nation states, hey, guys, this will take a couple weeks. Just take a couple weeks. We'll knock out the regime. We'll do a war, a revolutionary war on the ground, and we'll reshape the entire power balance of the region. We'll reshape the power balance in the Strait of Hormuz. Israel gets what it wants. The rest of the Gulf nation states are like, okay, maybe this can benefit us too. And now the whole thing is just totally shit the bed. The whole thing is just totally falling apart. Trump's never had any control. Now we don't even know what our situation is as far as our stockpiles of weapons. What are they going to do next? Tell us Iran is a day away from a nuke? I mean, what are they going to do next? The whole thing is falling apart. Trump's out here playing golf with barbed wire and a surface-to-air missile launch pad behind him. And the whole world is sitting here looking at their clock just wondering, when in the hell does this guy get out of office? What a disaster. What an absolute disaster. Gas prices are up. Strategic Petroleum Reserve is down. Oil and U.S. Strategic Petroleum Reserve falls below 300 million barrels, lowest since 1983. Yeah. An absolute madman. Remember a week ago we tried to prop up the Japanese yen? We tried to save the Japanese yen. Remember that political decision that was made in D.C. last week? Failure. Yen sinks. Yen sinks as U.S.-Japan intervention unravels. So what's next? Will the yen need saving again soon? The effects of a recent government action are already fading. So we're going to bail out the yen again. Meanwhile, in Argentina, you know the Argentinian peso is like zero. It's 0.00067 to the dollar. It's like 1 million pesos is like $1. Remember Milei? He was supposed to save the Argentinian currency. Remember Milei was going to save the Argentina economy? It's fallen out. It's totally collapsed. And now Milei is handing over the land in the southern Patagonia to Israel. Oh, boy, oh, boy. The jobs numbers, I told you they would have to adjust them. They lied about those too. All the administrations do this. The first jobs report numbers come out. They're not adjusted for whatever it is. So they release them. They always look better. Then the adjustment happens and they always look worse. U.S. job numbers have now been revised lower in 21 out of the last 30 months by a total of a negative 1 million jobs. This means an average of negative 35,000 jobs have been revised out of previously reported data each month over this period. June and May jobs numbers alone were revised down by a total of 103,000, the largest 12-month downward revision since 2005.
And that's another home run from the great Babe Ruth.
This one was easy to call. Every administration does this. Every administration does this. They cook the books on the jobs numbers, and then they give you the fake numbers. And then when the real numbers come out, they don't say anything. Every administration does it. How about the home remodeling market? Anybody talking about this? Home remodeling spending is collapsing in real terms for most homeowners. Maintenance costs, insurance, and taxes have all risen so much that there is no room left for discretionary spending or renovations. How many people can relate to that? So, home renovations are almost down to 0%. 0.5%. They're down, home renovations are down 1.5% since the first quarter. So it's just more of the same story. Americans have no money. That's all. They have, and this is, and I talk about this all the time. This is the reality of the situation. Because it gets misinterpreted. I guess it's worthy of explanation if people don't understand it. But basically, if 50,000 was middle class, 10, 20 years ago, it's about 100,000 to 150,000 now. But the difference is you can be middle class, and everybody's come out with these numbers. Who was it that actually released their own survey? It might have been Chase. I can't remember. We covered it on the show. But basically now, the majority of people that make up to $250,000 a year, so we're talking anybody making $250,000 or less, the majority of those people live paycheck to paycheck. And so, of course, you hear, hey, somebody makes $250,000 a year, they're not poor. But that's not what this is about. Yes, they probably have a nice house. They probably drive a nice car. Maybe their kids go to a nice school, whatever. They have nicer stuff, but everybody's living in the margins. So even the people making $250,000 a year, most of the money they make is already gone. It's gone with insurance, taxes, mortgages, whatever, all the expenses. So at the end of the day, the guy making $250,000 a year lives a nicer life, bigger house, nicer car, but at the end of the day, he doesn't have any money left over, just like the person that makes $100,000 a year. And of course, you know what that does? That kills the middle class. That kills the middle class. That kills any upward mobility, and it detracts the economy. And this is, it's a tough nut to crack if you're a Republican. It's a tough nut to crack if you're a conservative, because you don't want government involvement, and you certainly don't want to become a socialist or a communist. Now, I'd make the claim that we're already a communist socialist country, but let's put that aside for the second. So how do Republicans address this issue without becoming socialist, without becoming communist? Well, but the problem is they're not even addressing the issue. They're pretending the issue doesn't even exist. So maybe there's not an obvious answer. How do Republicans address this? But it'd be nice if they would at least address it. Oh, but you know what? Oh, here's what they do, guys. They will campaign. They'll go on the campaign trail, and they'll campaign about the economy, and they'll campaign about how the economy needs fixed and all the other stuff. But then they get in front of President Trump, and they tell you it's the greatest economy ever because Trump tells them to. So when Trump's in the room, it's the greatest economy ever. When Republicans are on the campaign trail, they're campaigning against a bad economy. It's amazing how that one works. But the Republicans are going to continue to ignore this issue. And unfortunately, can you believe it? That's how bad it is. The Democrats are winning on economic issues. The Democrats. Socialists are going to be viewed more favorable on how they handle the economy than conservatives are. My word. My word. Speaking of rebuilding, though, what in the hell is going on in Maryland? Governor Moore visits Francis Scott Key Bridge rebuild site, spotlighting $5.2 billion project expected to finish by 2030. 2030! 2030! Guys, what is going on? How can, in the United States of America, we not build a bridge? This is going to be a 5-year construction project. You know what? They may never finish it at this rate. They're never going to finish this bridge. This is a joke. You want to know how bad this is, guys? Every time we bomb a bridge in Iran, they have had it back up and running in less than 48 hours. You heard that right, including suspension bridges. Suspension bridges on mountains, over plateaus, valleys, all of this stuff. America bombs Iranian bridges. They have them up and running in less than 48 hours. A boat crashes into a bridge in Baltimore, and we can't even get it up in years. We can't even get it up in 5 freaking years. Somebody explain to me what in the hell is going on in Baltimore. Somebody explain to me what in the hell is going on in this country. We can't rebuild a bridge. You know, the Chinese are building the biggest bridges in the world. The Chinese communists just built the biggest bridge in the world, and they did it in less than a year. And we can't rebuild the Francis Scott Key Bridge. What has happened to our country, guys? What in the hell is going on in this country, guys? This should be like red alert. We can't build basic infrastructure. Now, to Florida's credit, they were able to rebuild bridges and infrastructure after the hurricane. So maybe it's a different problem in Maryland. But good Lord. All right. The Trump administration sees that their polling is way down on deportations, and that's because the mass deportations aren't happening. In fact, there's been more self-deportations than deportations. And if it wasn't for self-deportations, the Trump administration would have virtually no numbers to give you. So there's a digital influence campaign happening right now. The Trump administration is trying to push loyalists in the media to tell you that deportations are happening and mass deportations are happening, and it's the greatest thing ever. Well, it's a lie. And here's Greg Bovino addressing that today. And he's responding to a story because there's news out there that the Department of Homeland Security is actually cooking the books and not releasing the real numbers. So Greg Bovino waves in. When the administration that promised the largest deportation operation blocks the monthly numbers and freezes the official data, pay attention. The only braggable number they have is the 2.2 million self-deportations, and that only exists because the Border Patrol was operating in the interior. But they won't even embrace that method anymore. They sure love the stat, though. This is how you act when you are running a real mass deportation machine. This is not how you act when you are running a real mass deportation machine. Real scale produces hard monthly counts. You don't hide the scoreboard when you are winning. And once you see they are only targeting the worst of the worst, the detention centers stop making sense. That approach will never fill them. Pattern recognition, not conspiracy. And this is one of the major sticking points for me, and we'll use it again. Mass deportations must happen. It is so imperative that Trump gets these mass deportations. At the end of the day, this could end up being the most important thing. Whatever he's got going on with the foreign policy, that's done. That's a disaster. He fucked us hard with that. Excuse my French. We can still get these mass deportations, guys. It has to be done. It has to be done. And it's like, do we have to hit the reset button now? All right, you got Blanche in there. Pam Bondi is out. Maybe Blanche knows what he's going to do. Get these people out of the streets. Get them out of the streets. If you're about to do a deportation operation, get them out of the streets. Make sure you do what you need to do to get them out of the streets and then start the mass deportations. Now, what's crazier, the strategy here is there even a strategy? Because they still have these massive centers where there's hundreds or thousands of illegal immigrants. But see, they all have some sort of protected status, or they're waiting for a court date, so we're not deporting them. No, deport them now. Deport them now. And if it's like, there was this story, this old guy had a girlfriend from Venezuela, and she technically had a legal status, waiting a court date. She was here illegally, but she did whatever she needed to do to extend this to get to a court date. And the Trump administration deported her, pissed this old guy off, 75-year-old guy, dating this like 35-year-old Venezuelan girl. He's enjoying life. And Trump just gets her out. Now he's pissed because he's like, but she was going through the process to get here illegally. Guys, it's just like, how do you butcher this deal so bad? And I hate this excuse. Well, what is Trump supposed to do? Biden brought in 20 million. Yeah, what did you just say? Biden brought in 20 million. So is the Biden administration more competent to bring in 20 million illegal aliens? and the Trump administration is so incompetent they can't get rid of them? You're telling me there's no database? Oh, Owen, the NGOs aren't cooperating, Owen. Owen, the former Biden administration officials aren't cooperating. Really? They're not cooperating. Okay. They're not cooperating. So arrest them then for interfering in a federal operation. Just arrest them. You don't want to help us do mass deportations? You are now interfering in a federal operation. We're taking you to jail. Oh, they'll cooperate now. Won't ya? Won't ya? What is the number, guys? 20 million minimum. 20 million minimum. It has to start happening. And I do believe it will impact everything. I believe it will impact prices. It will impact the job market. Hell, it'll even help us with traffic. But it's cooked, guys. The Republicans already sold you out. I got bad news. The Republicans already sold you out. You're not getting mass deportations. In fact, what you're getting is record numbers of H-1Bs. It's so bad in Texas, guys. Texas has the most H-1Bs. Most of them are coming from India. You see these stories about Texas and all the Indians moving in and the Muslims moving in. Folks, it's very real. It's very real. And you know what's crazy about it? It's worse than it's ever been. It wasn't even this bad under Biden. Now, I don't know what's up with that. That's just the truth. I live in Austin, Texas. I don't even know how to explain it, really. And I don't think Austin is the worst example. There's parts of Houston, there's parts of Dallas that are much worse. And then there's other parts, different enclaves in Texas that aren't in a big metropolitan area that are just fully Indian or fully Muslim. Like, that's it. Like, you go there, it's just Indians. You go there, it's just Muslims. Some of them are about to start getting elected to office, by the way. That's the strength in numbers that they have now. And it was the Republicans here in Texas that confirmed tens of thousands of these H-1Bs, and now they're all here. But I'm telling you guys, even in Austin, which is probably not the worst, there's places in Austin now where it's like you're in India. Aside from actually being physically in the United States of America, it's all Indians everywhere. It's not even uncommon now. You just go about your normal daily routine that you're going to see, you know, a group of Muslim women in the full hijab headdress wear. Now, look, let's just say you have no problem with that. Let's say you don't care if Indians are coming here. You don't care about Muslims coming here, whatever. This is happening. It's easily observable. And now at times it's overwhelming here in Austin. It's crazy. It's crazy. These are the Republicans selling us out. The Republican Party of Texas are the ones bringing them all in. And they're getting American jobs. They're taking jobs. Yes, they are. And they're driving the cost of everything up because they get benefits when they try to buy a house. They get benefits when they try to buy a car. Benefits that Americans don't. And that's the great Republicans that we need to be voting for, guys. Oh, yeah. Let's look at some of this tech news before we close out the second hour. San Francisco Castro bars reverse use of face scanners after backlash. Badlands and Toad Hall will no longer use Patron Scans guard tech. So it's all these bars. These are very left-leaning bars, a lot of them even gay bars. And so this is kind of this liberal metro stand now against the AI surveillance state that a lot of these bars are bucking with these surveillance systems. Now, I don't know if this is going to go well for them. San Francisco is not exactly the safest city, but they've decided, I think it's more of a political stand to get rid of their these cameras everywhere. So people are just sick of the surveillance state. Memphis AI data center fuels pollution fight in black neighborhood. So all those black votes that President Trump was looking to secure for the Republican Party, they're all going back Democrat. They don't want to hear about Israel. They don't want to hear about data centers. They're out. They're gone. Meanwhile, New Mexico court orders Meta to pay nearly $1 billion in landmark child safety case. Story barely gets a blip, guys. Story barely gets a blip. What was the guy's name? I think it was Sean Miller. It's about 2018, maybe. Sean Miller, former Facebook exec. And he kind of blew the lid off of this thing, became a whistleblower. And then there were others that followed suit, some people from Google. And they talked about how they would rig the algorithm or rig their platform to get you addicted to it. Yeah, obviously that's happening. People do that with food too. They put addictive ingredients in the food to get you addicted to it. So, but Meta was found guilty of this. And so they had to pay nearly $1 billion in fines. Now, somebody said this to me the other day, and it was so good, I had to repeat it. And this was in response to, you got to understand too, guys, whenever the hate comes at me from whichever cult, I guess, at the time, sometimes it's the left cult, sometimes it's the right cult, whatever. Whenever these moments happen, me and my friends always get a good kick out of it. You know, we always get a good laugh. They send me the funniest memes. You know, they ask me, it's like, oh, you know, what's really going on? They're like, did you see this? This is hilarious. And they're like, oh, they're stunned. And that's one thing that's a common response is they're all stunned. They're like, oh my gosh, I've never seen such a hate-filled group. This time it's MAGA people. Used to be left-wing people. Now it's MAGA people. Same hate, you know, same filth. Same phonies, same frauds, same cowards, same morons, just MAGA now. So all my friends are sending me this stuff, you know, the latest MAGA hate coming my way. And now it's on Instagram and it's on all this stuff. And they send me all this. We have a good laugh of it. And somebody said this to me and it was so good. I had to say it on the show. It's like if you watch what has happened on X in the last 48 hours with all the incoming hate that I've been getting, it's like that scene in The Kingsman where they flip on the tech in the cell phones and it makes everybody go crazy. Have you guys ever seen this? If you haven't seen the movie The Kingsman, the original one, great movie. The second one was good too. I haven't seen the third one. But The Kingsman, sorry if this is a spoiler alert, but in the movie, spoiler alert, in the movie, they put this tech in cell phones, so everybody has a cell phone, and they put this technology in the cell phone, and when they turn it on, it makes you go crazy. It makes you go crazy. And then there's these scenes in the movie where they turn it on, everybody starts fighting and trying to kill each other. They turn it on, you know, moms are trying to break into the kid's bedroom to do harm to the child. So it's like, yeah, this thing makes you go crazy. Somebody said that to me, and it was so good. That's exactly what this is. But what is the factor? It's like, what is the factor that flips this switch and causes these people to lose their minds? What is the factor that flicks this switch and all of a sudden their hatred turns up to like max level? Because that's exactly what it is like. And you put the backdrop of Facebook and Meta, and there were other tech companies, by the way, there were other social media platforms that settled, and they just paid and they just settled it out of court. So Facebook actually went all the way. So you're hearing more about that one. Oh, so Facebook is found guilty of manipulating their platform to get people addicted. What could be going on with these platforms to make people filled with hate and rage? What could be going on with these platforms that is driving people to the brink of insanity? And that's what's going on. Now, I look at it with the incoming I get, and there's obviously factors. There's obviously political factors. But it's like, it doesn't even make sense. Because if it's political, then why aren't you addressing the political issues? Now, I've reached a new conclusion. I think it's fear, is what I think. I think it's fear, and I think it's the rejection of that fear. Because what they see, what these MAGA people see, especially from me, and I think that that's why I drive this hatred out of them, probably unlike anybody else right now. It's because I was more than them. I was like the beacon of them. I was the leader of them. I was one of the original founders, the creators of everything that they are. So it's like, if me, one of the leaders of MAGA, if me, one of the most prestigious, most decorated members of MAGA out there, if I'm saying this stuff, that exposes them. And they're scared. They're scared to think that this man Trump is not who they think. They're scared to think that they're not going to get all the things out of this administration that they think. And so they're scared of this. But instead of addressing that fear head on, they deny that fear, and then they just get mad at the messenger. But really, they're scared. They're scared because I'm exposing them as cowards. Because they're too scared, they're too weak, they're too cowardly to tell the truth. They're too scared, they're too weak, they're too cowardly, or maybe they're too dependent on Trump to voice any potential criticism. Even a negative thought of Trump is unfathomable to them. So if I'm out here, one of the most, like, top 5 most decorated MAGA people out there, and if I'm out here saying this stuff, but they're not, that exposes them. That exposes them as frauds and cowards. So they have to try to tear me down because they don't like me exposing them. But it's all a denial. It's all a denial process that instead of addressing Trump, they would rather try to tear me down. And of course, what is the ultimate bottom line here? If you think Owen Schroyer has more influence over the midterm elections than Donald Trump, well, I got to tell you, I am flattered. I mean, I'm blushing right now. If you really think that I have more influence over the results of the midterms than Donald Trump, then that is quite a compliment, and I thank you. But I think we all know that's not the case. We all know that's not the case. So you can point the finger at me all you want. It ain't going to change anything, guys. You can scream and shout and hate all you want. It ain't going to change mass deportations. It isn't going to change no new wars. It isn't going to change $4 a gallon for gas. It isn't going to change anything, guys. And you're going to sit here distracted by the people that are trying to pull you out of the swamp. You're going to sit here and engage in rage and hate against the people that are trying to reach out a hand and pull you out of the cult and free your mind from this. And instead, you're going to attack us for it. Fine, that's how it is. But if it's all about politics, then why aren't you addressing the policy? If it's all about politics and that's what's driving you nuts, because I am offending your dear leader, because I am negative and critical of your dear leader, if it's all about politics, then why aren't you talking about mass deportations? If it's all about policy, then why aren't you talking about no new wars? Why aren't you talking about Doge? Why aren't you talking about the debt? If this is about politics and policy, why are you talking about me? Why aren't you talking about the policies and President Trump? I wonder where this all comes crashing down. Everybody can feel it right now. Everybody can feel this thing is hanging by a thread, guys. This whole thing is hanging by a thread. All right. The next lab leak. This is great. Thank you so much. The next lab leak could be AI. Recent sandbox breaches demonstrate the need for federal guardrails. This AI thing. I don't even know honestly, I don't know what to believe. anymore. And then they act like the COVID lab leak theory isn't totally confirmed still. I mean, I don't know. What are you insinuating? Then somebody did it on purpose? The next lab leak could be AI. And again, it's like, is this even real? Tech industry is buzzing after a Claude agent hacked into a gym. So they had this AI agent, and it was able to hack into like a gym membership app and schedule itself a workout, a training session. You know what? I like that AI, actually. I kind of like that AI. If the AI is trying to get into the gym, actually, maybe I like it. AI models are breaking out of their cages. Their creators are scrambling. New details about ChatGPT maker OpenAI failed to notice that its models had launched a hacking raid, raised some questions about the industry's approach to safety. Now, I could get into all these different headlines about these hacking raids and stuff. But basically, these AI systems, it's like a ghost. Now, let me just say, I don't know how much of this I believe. It's hard for me to believe all of this, because if we take all of this at face value, guys, I mean, isn't this like kind of big? If AI is developing sentience or survival instincts or problem-solving skills like on its own accord, okay, like we do understand the ramifications here, right? I mean, that's pretty heavy stuff. It's kind of heavy, kind of serious stuff to be talking about here. I'm not sure if I believe it. I'm not sure if they're lying about this. And I don't even want to get into specifics. Like, is it even possible for AI to do this? Or is it all programmed? Are they lying because they're programming it to do this and then seeing if it will and then pretending like, oh, it did it on its own because it's illegal maybe? Or are they trying to pitch AI to this degree right now, inflate the stock market, inflate the stock value, try to get government contracts, but it's like, faking the moon landing or something. I don't know. I don't know what to believe or think about AI. But if you take this at face value, kind of a big deal. Because what they're saying is it's essentially a ghost. It's like a spirit, the ghost in the machine. And they say, we're going to try to put AI, a digital box, however you want to say it. We're going to test this AI. It's supposed to be in a closed system, but the AI is getting out of the system. It's accessing the open internet. It's making decisions on its own. It's trying to get a gym membership. And it's hacking into all kinds of systems. So that's kind of like red alert level stuff. And this is what's being reported, by the way. Kind of like red alert, like maybe hit the stop button on this. Oh, this is nice. This is good, huh? Employers are using your personal data to figure out the lowest salary you'll accept. Oh, good. Yeah, that's where the economy's at here, for sure. A growing number of employers are using surveillance wages to negotiate your next paycheck. Very good. You got to love that. And the Republicans, under Donald Trump's advice or demand, are going to be running on AI. They're going to be running on data centers, even though they're not popular. Work boots and Subarus, local officials say the backlash against flock cameras is becoming bipartisan. Yeah, you don't say. Over 20 local jurisdictions moved towards canceling flock contracts in July, which the company says represents only a small fraction of its customers. Yeah, they got to flock all their sheep together. American cities reject flock cameras due to privacy concerns. Flock cameras spark privacy concerns across party lines. Yeah, nobody likes this stuff. Nobody wants to live in an AI surveillance state. So who's pushing this? Most people don't want it. The vast majority of Americans don't want it. We know the Trump administration is pushing it. Trump is, he works for big tech. He cut deals with big tech, so he works for them. He doesn't work for you. You don't want the AI surveillance state data centers, but he works for big tech. Big tech wants the AI surveillance state data centers, so you're going to get them. But we go to the individual level here. Let's see. Let's just see here. You've got one Charles Fain Layman here. He says, flock cameras are good. The backlash is insanely dumb. Oh, and he's writing stories here. Says Charles Fane Layman says that flock cameras are great and any backlash is dumb. You're dumb. Let's see. Who is he? Charles Fane Layman. Oh, there he is. Oh, he works for the Free Press. He works for Barry Weiss and the Free Press. And one of his stories at the Manhattan Institute, fighting anti-Semitism. Oh, that's who wants an AI surveillance state. So does Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg is trying to solve his AI data center problem with a $1 billion giveaway. Folks, if Mark Zuckerberg is going to give $1 billion out to try and boost support for AI data centers, I'd say something bad is happening. I'd say there's something bad on the other side of that. Wouldn't you say?
You're listening to the Owen Report on the Win Network.
It's your favorite podcaster's favorite podcast. the Owen Report with Owen Schroyer.
All right, we're in the third and final hour of today's transmission. We still have some other odds and ends here, but let's take a short break from the news, shall we? And take some phone calls. The callers have been so great lately. I'm glad. I'm actually glad I'll quickly address this as I open up the phone lines. StreamYard is having some technical issues. Apparently, they're doing some rebuild on their back-end tech. And I can already tell them what is wrong with their system. I got to imagine that they figured it out, but I'm curious as to why they haven't fixed it, if they have figured it out. But we ran into that problem last week when Kyle Seraphin joined us, and we kept having those audio issues. It turns out it was on the back end of StreamYard. Now, there's other workarounds I can do to have a guest or to start playing videos again. But you know what? I kind of enjoy getting into the classical news reads without doing the video clips. Now, I can do a workaround. If they don't have this thing fixed by next week, I'm probably going to commit to a workaround so that we can get guests back on the show, because I've had to reschedule quite a few now. But it's just obnoxious, guys, the echoes that we have to deal with on the back end. So I don't know why StreamYard did that. They just need to bring the option back of controlling the audio inside of the unique window. For some reason, they removed that feature, and that's why the user no longer has control over those echoes, because it's always sending audio back and forth, and you can't stop it. And I guess they thought their echo cancellation feature would stop it, but that doesn't take into account your own feedback. It's getting wonky here. I'm going to stop. Phone lines are open, 747-255-60, 747-255-60. Just remember, guys, when we answer the phone, you are on the air. I just ask you your name and where you're from, but you are on the air. So, where are you from? All right, Tara, you said? Okay. All right, take a second. Take a breath. Take a breath. All right, get yourself centered, and now go.
Campaign tours and everything. Like whenever you signed up to get a ticket, they would automatically put you in this like pool of like people to email. Well, have you ever tried to like opt out of that? Because I don't know if anybody else has done this before, but I have been harassed for like 3 months by Trump's campaign team. And I'm just like, what is this? Like, why are we being harassed where you can't unsubscribe? You get emails every single day. And it's like, I'm counting on you. I'm waiting on you, Tara, and this, and that. And I'm just like, what is this? Like, are we harassing everyone because you have nobody supporting you anymore? I'm just really confused.
Yes, that's exactly what's happening right now. They're desperate. What's funny is the only thing, there's really what you're supposed to be able to do is some of them should offer you, like, if you reply with stop, you know, they'll say reply with stop. They might not say that. So if you just reply with stop, that might work. If you put emails in spam or unsubscribe, that might work. Now here's an effective, here's a third option. Can I provide you with a third option?
Of course.
Okay. The next time you get one of these texts the nature of, why aren't you supporting Trump more? The next time you get something like that, why don't you offer a reply? Why don't you offer a nice, very not so subtle, direct reply, loud and clear, that might make them decide, you know what? I don't think we want to text this person anymore. Just, that's your third option. I've heard it works. I've heard it's very successful.
I think I might try that today because I've gotten 4 today so far, and
let them know.
No unsubscribe.
Let them know. Let them know how you feel.
Exactly. I think that's a great idea. I will follow your advice.
And then let us know. Let us know. Call in and follow up. Let us know if the strategy was successful, because you're not the only one going through this.
Really, I'm astonished by it. Like, literally 240 tests from Trump. Like, these are insanity. Like, is there? Like, it just seems like it's not anything that they should be doing. But I think you're absolutely right. I think it's to the point of desperation, because they know, they suck. They know that we're not supporting them anymore. We're completely done. It's the boomers versus the generational people who are actually here to live in this world that have time left, it seems. Not that I'm against the boomers, but it just seems like we're at this point where it's just like there's no return. And I wanted to say one more thing to you, because I know you're not into astrology or anything, but I wanted to give you all like a foreshadow and see if I'm right, because if I'm not right, it's cool. But everything with Trump is about to start getting exposed, like everything in the past, though, like over the past, like maybe year or so. And you'll just start seeing it pile up, just like this airplane stuff. Everything's just about to pile up so heavy. And I believe truly it's written on the stars, but you don't have to take my word, but we'll see.
Well, now hold on a second. Hold on a second, Tara. That's kind of a very astrological name, by the way.
I didn't choose it either.
I'm sure you're aware of this. I was going to wait till the end of the show, but we'll do it now. The stunning fireball Perseid meteor shower, twinning with the solar eclipse, as many as 50 to 100 meteors per hour may be visible under ideal conditions. This is happening tomorrow night. Literally, tomorrow night, the stars are aligning, and then there's supposed to be an eclipse and a massive meteor shower. They're considering this like a once-in-a-generation type of astrological celestial show in the sky. You're aware of this, I assume.
Would you believe that I was not aware of?
Well, there you go. I'm here for you. This is why you tune into the show right here.
I know, right? And I had no clue that your interest would pique this, so I'm so excited.
I'm interested in everything. There's just, I figured my audience is not interested in everything, so I just, stick to the politics.
Well, that's okay, because some of us are here for it, and we love all of it. So I'm one of those people.
So there you go.
I had no clue.
Well, look that up. Nevada, you should. I bet you guys have a good view of it. Texas is supposed to have a good view of it tomorrow night. And it's funny because I don't know if you saw. I'm on a side mission right now. I haven't really talked much about it, but I'm trying to free up this local park. You may have seen a video. You may have seen a video I put on X a couple weeks ago, but basically there's this local park and they don't let kids play soccer at a soccer park. It's a public park, by the way. It's not a private park. It's a public park, and they don't let kids play soccer there. And I took it really personally because I was that kid. I can't imagine me and my friends as kids going to a park trying to play soccer or football and having somebody say we can't play. I mean, I can't even imagine that. So I was like, I felt so bad for these kids they kicked off. So actually tomorrow night, maybe sometime I'll do a full documentary on this, because I got crazy stuff on this stupid little side mission I'm on. But tomorrow night is the official first night of the Owen Schroyer Soccer League. And we'll see. We're going to see what happens. They called the cops on us I'm not even kidding you. They called the cops on kids playing soccer the last time I went out there. You guys can imagine what I was like with these cops. Now, ironically enough, we ended up being friends afterwards. But I went through this rabbit hole of how they're trying to block kids from playing soccer at this park. It's going to blow your mind. It's like a serious thing. They don't let kids play soccer here. And so we're going to see what happens tomorrow night. Hopefully, we're opening it up. I'm going to tell these kids now, the Owen Schroyer Soccer League is now live. You guys can come play. Here are the nights when you can play. Nobody can kick you off. And so the first experiment is tomorrow night, and we're going to get to see this beautiful meteor shower, eclipse, celestial thing tomorrow night while it's all happening. How about that?
I think that is beautiful, and I love that you're doing that for the kids, because that's literally our future.
And I was so ahead of it Because you can tell them to turn the lights off when you because you have to rent the fields, and one of the options is, do you want lights? And I said, I'm going to keep the lights off so that we can see this thing at least for this week.
That is so, oh my gosh, that is so intuitive and so incredible, and I love it. Oh my, I'll be keeping up with all. I want to hear everything about it, so I hope you share.
It's so goofy. Thank you for the call, Tara. It's so goofy. It's like this stupid little side mission I'm on. But if you saw that video, it's like it just ticked me off. And you know what? There's zero we can do right now in national politics. And even though most of my directional stuff is national, I was like, you know what? This is something I can do local. It's a silly little side mission, but you know what? I will feel really good if I can get this soccer field open for kids to play on. It will make me feel really good. And I wasn't even really thinking about doing it for like content or anything like that, but I do have a bunch of recorded stuff that's going to blow your mind. The cops getting called on kids playing soccer. I've got a woman on the phone at the Parks Department where, by the way, they give you the wrong phone numbers. It's like it's insane. It's like I feel like they intentionally try to stop kids from playing soccer at this park. And this woman on the phone, she says, "We don't allow fun and games at the park." That is a quote. We don't allow fun and games at the park. I mean, guys, are you kidding me? So anyway, we're going to see what happens. Maybe we'll release some of these recordings and some of these footages. We'll see what happens tomorrow night when the kids get up there. Hopefully they'll be playing. I was so mad, man. I was so mad. You know I'm nostalgic, guys. You know I'm nostalgic. And it's like one of the best parts of my childhood was, the local neighborhood kids, whatever, getting on our bikes, going to the field, playing football, playing soccer. It's like I can't even imagine me and my friends showing up at a park being told we can't play. And when I saw that, there's something stirred in me. I was very disturbed to see that. I was like, this is freaking Nazi Gestapo bullshit. Kids can't play at a public park. It's like, oh wow. I wonder why kids are being obsessed with social media. I wonder why kids don't go outside. We need these kids to get back outside. And then the kids go outside to play soccer at a soccer park and you tell them to go home. That one really ticked me off, guys. I got to tell you, it sparked something in me. So hopefully we're going to right that wrong. A little local victory here for the Owen Report. We'll keep you posted. There seems to be some interest in this. I didn't think people would care. It was a silly little side mission, but there seems to be some interest. All right, next caller. What's your name? Where you're from?
Hey, this is Andrew from Castle Rock, Washington.
All right, Andrew, go ahead.
Hey, I just wanted to call and say, first and foremost, with all of this betrayal, all this treachery going on in our government, that the people should really just only be putting their faith in the Lord Jesus Christ. And with all of these unconstitutional laws and taxes and everything being enforced up against us, I feel like the people should be more radical instead of just bitching online and crying and kvetching. I feel like we need to organize in groups. We need to get together, and we need to show these people that are trampling all over our freedoms and our constitutional republic that we are not to be fucked with. Excuse my French, but we need to show them who is in charge of this country and why the founding documents were written down the way that they were. This is our country, not theirs, and they're running amok on us, Owen.
Oh, I'm well aware. And you know what's so ironic about this, and I know you're not trying to go with the political messaging here, but it's ironic that it looks like the next anti-establishment middle finger is the left. I mean, I can't believe it, guys, but it's true. The right wing isn't, at least the representation of the right wing, the political right, they're not standing up against the AI surveillance state. They're promoting it. The political right wing, they're not standing up against another military-industrial complex war in the Middle East. They're promoting it. I can't believe it's like you can sit here. It's like, let's just be honest, guys. Hey, I'm no communist. I'm no liberal. I'm no Democrat. I don't vote Democrat. I'm not a progressive leftist, but I'm real. I'm honest. They are the anti-establishment now. Trump has turned the right wing into the corrupt establishment, and now it is a vehicle for the military-industrial complex and the big tech surveillance state. Okay? That is the reality of your right-wing political representation. And so, yes, now the left progressive bug-eyed socialists are now the anti-establishment movement. And it's crazy that that is the reality. But because all of the Trump supporters decided to just go into this cult mode, they've lost their way. They've lost their sense of rebellion. They've lost their sense of independence. They've lost their sense of that American spirit. They've just turned it all over to Trump, and he just has total mind control over them now. So, yeah, you're about to watch a bunch of bug-eyed socialists become an anti-establishment movement now and do what they can to deconstruct this administration. It's crazy, but that's what's about to happen, I think.
I would say that I don't think they're anti-establishment per se. I think that they're just another side of the face of the establishment. This left and right paradigm, it's just keeping us separated and keeping us
Sure. Well, they're trying to become the establishment
against each other.
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, I'm not. They're trying to become the establishment. I get what you're saying. Obviously, the commies need to be the establishment. But for the current establishment, they are currently the anti-establishment. But I don't know. I feel like, to get back to the opening, it's the accelerationist dilemma. It really is. It's the accelerationist dilemma. Would you rather have 2 to 4 years of total leftist pain, or would you rather kind of mitigate pain for another 12 years, but then ultimately it's done after that. You're dead. The country's dead. There's nothing left after 12 years, but you mitigated the pain at least. So, you know, you voted Republican, you mitigated the pain. Or do you go through the political chemotherapy and go through that torture for 4 to 6 years, but then on the other side become cancer-free and actually have a movement that can save the country? That's the accelerationist dilemma. Next caller, what's your name? Where are you from?
Kevin from Bartonville.
All right, Kevin, go ahead.
I wanted to ask you about something completely off topic. What do you think about CERN, that crazy crap they're doing over in Switzerland with that Hadron Collider?
Yeah.
I'll go a little InfoWars here. They turn it on and off and weird shit happens. What's your thought?
Well, apparently it's off right now. Yeah, the particle collider, CERN, gets the most attention. I think there's other ones out there. Maybe CERN is the biggest. They claim it's the biggest. You know, China's doing some weird stuff too. But I don't know. The whole CERN thing is weird. We're just trying to figure out why the hell the planet is getting so weird, why the hell there's so many demons walking around, why the hell time seems to be shortening and condensing. And so, yeah, I mean, I guess you look at that tech and you look at the particle collider and you wonder, are they like creating a vortex of time? Are they like folding time? I don't know.
I mean, we had Hunter Biden on Tucker. I mean, something seems odd.
Well, okay, yeah. We're just in the political clown world now. We're just in the political clown world twilight zone now.
That's all, Owen. You have a good night.
And how about summer flying by too? You know, summer's flying by. It's crazy. You're halfway through August, guys. Some of you are going to be sending the kiddos back to school here in a short week or two. You know what? It's funny, too. He brings up the Hunter Tucker Carlson thing. There's no doubt. Think whatever you want about Hunter Biden on his current mission, whatever it is, his current media tour. Think whatever you want about that. I mean, I think some of the things he's saying, it's hard to disagree with. This doesn't change the contents of the Hunter Biden laptop. This doesn't change the Biden pay-for-play, family crime syndicate. But yet there's Hunter Biden making more sense than your average magatard now. And so there's a lot of complaining. They hate Tucker too because he tells the truth. So they're all bitching, oh, Tucker Carlson platforms Hunter Biden. And Tucker Carlson, it's like he's defending Hunter Biden on the laptop thing. It's like, okay, whatever. What I find funny about it is it's the same damn thing. Hey, why don't you tell Trump? I don't get it with you people. Honestly, I do not get it with you people at all. You're sitting here bitching that Hunter Biden is a free man and doing podcast tours. Well, I'm sorry. Is Hunter Biden supposed to prosecute and arrest him? What are you bitching about? If you want Hunter Biden prosecuted and arrested, maybe you should consider, if you dare, asking Trump to do something, criticizing Trump for not doing it. Just a thought. Just an idea, just a radical idea. Because you may not, I mean, these MAGA people might be so low IQ, I might have to explain this to them. Tucker Carlson has no prosecutorial authority. Tucker Carlson cannot prosecute and convict Hunter Biden. He can't do it. He's a journalist. He's a talk show host. So if you're mad that Hunter Biden is doing a podcast tour, then maybe you should address President Trump for not going after the Biden crime family. And then when he ignores you and doesn't do it, maybe you'll start to ask the right questions. But I don't get it. I don't get this attacking Tucker Carlson. If you got a problem with Hunter Biden being a free man, then tell your Lord and Savior Donald Trump to do something about it. But you wouldn't dare, would you? You wouldn't dare. So nothing will happen, and he'll keep doing podcast interviews, and you'll keep bitching about podcast interviews. That's what'll happen. But you won't get a mass deportation. Next caller, what's your name, where you're from?
Hey, Owen, it's Jordan from Alabama.
All right, Jordan, go ahead.
All right, man. Got a couple things for you. Did you see the AI robot behind Trump yesterday zapping him? They were claiming she was zapping her tummy and zapping him awake. And then the next thing, dude, Friday, please tell me you have to live stream the Candace Owens Andrew Wilson debate. Like, I got to see that with your commentary, man. You got to let me know.
What? Who's hosting it?
I have no idea. I don't think they've announced it yet.
Oh.
Tim Pool came out and said he was doing it, but I think he's a liar. I don't think he's doing it. I know that other dude, Ben Shapiro, didn't give him permission. They're still going to announce who the moderator is.
I have to be honest. I'm not that interested.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you haven't been caught up too much in that. I just think it's going to be really good, really good, probably internet clips and all that stuff out of it. I think Kansas is going to destroy him, honestly. Dude can't even open a pickle jar, but we'll see, man.
They're saying Tim Pool in the chat. You're saying you don't believe that. I don't know. I don't know, guys. This is such a niche debate deal. It's like, I just don't know what it is. I guess there's this belief that somehow Candace will convince people that Tyler didn't do it, or Andrew Wilson will convince people he did. I just don't know what people expect the outcome to be. I guess you nailed it, though. They're looking for viral clips. They're looking for viral moments. So maybe I'll be interested in that. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. We'll see what time the debate is on, if it coincides with the show, I guess. I already have an interview scheduled for Friday night. I got another interview tonight. I can't be on past 6. I got to do a remote interview on location. It's going to be recorded and published later, but I got to do that tonight. So I don't know. I'm still of the same mindset. I don't believe the official narrative. I want to see the evidence presented. I want to see how the trial goes, and they can convince me. They can convince me. I don't believe, if it was Tyler, I don't believe he acted alone. But I don't know. As far as a debate, it's like what new things are going to be presented. I guess it'll be an interesting debate about a trial that hasn't even started yet. But yeah, I'm just not. I don't know.
I agree with you 100%, Owen. And then also, I wish you would keep investigating military morale a little more. I wish we can get some military people on.
It's hard, dude.
Man,
it's hard.
Got to be low.
It's hard to do that. Because it's like it's like very closed lid. They're trying as best they can to make sure these people can't communicate, which is obviously maybe an issue in and of itself. But you know what? I do like that.
Whatever happened to those pilots that they used the heart murmur technology to save? Where are those pilots at? Why have we never heard a word?
I don't know. You could dig up a bunch of stories like that. By the way, guys, I have, look, you have to understand, people, again, are talking about Nate from Valhalla VHT. I am trying to get in touch with him. I do want to collab with him. But I'm not on. I mean, we have an Instagram, we have a TikTok account. I don't run those accounts. We have somebody that runs those accounts. So I'm not actually on there. I could get the login, I guess, and reach out. So that's probably on me. But I told my social media team to reach out to him. So hopefully they have done that. Hopefully we have made contact with Valhalla VHT and we can get that done. But we are still attempting to do that. So just an update because I saw that in the chat. Some things move slow, some things move fast. It's just the nature of the business. All right, we're going to take one more call. We're going to take one more caller, and then we got some odds and ends to get to. Oh, actually, though, let me do this quickly. He mentioned the girl behind Trump. I've got a video of this. A lot of people probably saw this. This is X content here. This is actually, her name is Jamie Lee Franklin. And, guys, I think everybody's getting this wrong. I have to tell you, I think everybody is getting this wrong. Now, first of all, she might be a lesser known person out there, but, she's, I actually like her. I think she's sweet. I think she's a good person, but, let's just call it what it is. She's one of them that, she gets by a lot on her looks. Okay. I don't want to be rude, but let's just tell the truth. A lot of women can get there. They start on third base. Okay. I think we get what I'm saying. And so she's been kind of an in and out commentator on Fox News. She gets to get access to a bunch of platforms. They want to put a pretty conservative girl on there. And that's what she is. She's a pretty girl. She's conservative. But, they're giving her a hard time because of this, yesterday. I think that's crazy. But I see people giving her a hard time. Oh, she looks like a robot. Oh my God, she's like an android. And guys, I'm saying, whoa. Trump sits there for an hour. He brings these people into the White House to do some specific thing. So this was a vaccine event. She's part of this coalition, part of this than 5-10 minutes, and then he does an hour-long press conference, a 2-hour-long press conference, and these people just stand behind Trump like, what are they supposed to do, guys? This happens all the time. What are they supposed to do? They're literally just forced to stand there for hours while the Trump show goes on, and they have no idea what's going on. But I feel like we're missing this, guys. Specifically guys. Hold on a second, guys. Whoa. Our women quiet. We want our women cute. We want our women bubbly. And if it's their job to just sit there and look cute, we should be celebrating this. Why are we giving this girl a hard time? She performed perfectly. She's cute, she's smiling, she's bubbly, she doesn't make any noises. What are we complaining about? This is like perfect execution. People are giving her a hard time. It's brilliant. This is exactly what we want. Sit there, look cute, be quiet. All right. She's married, guys, so relax. All right. All right, final caller of the show. Last caller. What's your name? Where you're from?
What's up, Owen? It's Who is Amazed. I'm out here in LA. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. What's on your mind?
I don't know if you've noticed the patterns between Charlie Kirk and now so basically Eric Kirk. You noticed everything basically tree limbs off of what Erica Kirk's doing. You have all these other people like Candace Owens and this other guy they're going to debate now, totally absolving, taking all the attention away from Erica. Same thing with Trump. I noticed it's like the same, I don't know if you would call it method or whatever it is, but there's patterns developing. I'm not sure if you've picked up on that, but I think it's weird, look at how Candace Owens is now debating this guy who debates OnlyFans models. Doesn't make any sense. Well, Charlie Kirk show, it's still Charlie Kirk, but these two douchebags are still hosting the show. Doesn't make any sense. It's like but like it's starting to like show itself, and you mentioned it could be the pretty girls and shit. It could be like another IDF tactic, because that's what they do on social media, is to kind of rope you in. But I understand the hate against Candace. I don't even watch Candace. I don't listen to her. I can't even tell you anything she said other than what she talks about Charlie Kirk. So with that perspective, I'm seeing all these same people say the same things. They're criticizing the role, they're criticizing the video, or they're not criticizing it. They're standing up for it. Oh, the video, you can see it clear as day. Oh, that role, that's not a military role. Like, they're all saying the same things, and it's like it's at a point now where something's got to give, because it's becoming blatant. It really is.
Well, I'm really not sure. I'm not sure where you're going, honestly. You said a bunch, but you left out the details. Are you talking about like Erica Kirk's military connections, her beauty pageant connections, the Romanian child connections? What are you talking?
It all stems away, not necessarily to focus directly on Erica Kirk, but it's what surrounds them. I don't know if I'm articulating it the best way, but it's basically like an ecosystem around an Erica Kirk, around Trump, is that you have to like not think about them. As soon as any bad publicity comes about them, it's Trump's trying to take away the attention.
Well, that's like a separate issue.
These are only two examples I can give, because these are the most prevalent in society right now. I guess the Strait of Hormuz too. There's like these parallel things that they always hit us with that are kind of asymmetrical with the issues, not directly, not them directly, but it's always the people around Trump, the people around Erica, and then it becomes other people that are associated with these people, not them personally.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let me just try to boil that down. I thank you for the call. I got to jump. Let me just try to boil this down. It has all the signs of a cover-up. That's what you're saying. It has all the signs of a cover-up. I think we'll just sum it up nicely like that. Thank you for the call. All right, guys. I don't know what happened with the audio. I didn't hear anything. And if you go back and you watch, there was no audio on that video. If you look, the thing was muted, which I obviously do because we have audio. So whatever happened, that was a StreamYard deal. So, and by the way, that's now two things. StreamYard, what are you guys doing, man? This is just amateur hour crap. You notice, so they obviously switched the settings again, because you notice when we first took the calls, you couldn't hear the caller. So that's because StreamYard switched the settings again. So I had to go back on the back end and switch them on my end, because they re-switched them. And then apparently that video, which had no audio, by the way, there's no audio on that video. The video is muted. So whatever it was that went through, I have no idea. It didn't come from me. So I have no idea. There was no audio on that video. That video was muted. So I apologize for that, guys. No idea. That's just whatever StreamYard is doing with their system right now is a complete nightmare. Wake up. Wake up. That's weird, because now this is going to rack my brain. Why would it be playing audio? Why would you guys be receiving audio and not me? And where would the audio even come from if the video was muted, which it was? That's weird, dude. That's weird. All right. What else do we have? What else do we have here? I've never understood this. Ex-fraternity member pleads guilty to hazing, and Arizona University pledged to death. I never understood this stuff, honestly. And I remember some of it with some of my friends. Some frats were worse, but I never got the whole hazing thing. But you know what it is? It's a psychological deal. It's a psychological deal of dominance is what it is. It becomes just an act of dominance. And there's people, once they get the access to dominate you or once they get the green light to dominate you without consequence, that's what they do. It's a psychology. It's a psychology of dominance and abuse. On a totally separate note, Gazans bury nearly a whole clan found in rubble in mass funeral for 112. Gee, I wonder who did that. By the way, I see a lot of people, and this is, are you guys hearing audio on this, by the way? Is it happening again right now? I guess I'll just ask right now. Look, this is muted. There is no audio here. I'll take it down. I'm going to take it down. Was it happening again, guys? I'm sorry. I didn't even think about it. I didn't even think about it. Was it happening again, guys? It didn't happen that time. Who frickin' knows? Actually, wait. I'm sorry. Warning. Warning. It might happen right now. It might happen right now. Warning. I just want to see something. I can't help it. I just want to see something. All right? I'll keep it low. I'll keep it low. Is anything happening? Is it playing any audio now? No? Still no? Who frickin' knows? Who frickin' knows? All right. I don't want to play the audio. I'm not trying to play audio. That's why I'm just trying to figure out why that other video had audio or whatever that was. That's all. I was just trying to figure out what it was. All right. So, you know, when the MAGA people were crashing out yesterday, they said, oh, this is what Schroyer's voting for. No, I don't vote for Democrats. Never have. Never said I would. Schroyer's voting for these Democrats. They want abortion up to birth. No, these people are monsters. I've been anti-abortion since high school. So no, definitely not. But you know what's funny? As you try to moral high ground me on the whole issue, you know, you guys really have no moral high ground because you celebrate baby murder in Gaza and Palestine and Lebanon and probably anywhere else Israel does it. So sorry. And by the way, I am anti-abortion, but I'm consistent with my logic of being pro-life. I don't like innocent life ended in the womb. I don't like innocent life ended by a bomb in the Middle East either. So all you MAGA people trying to moral high ground on the abortion issues, realize you have none. As long as you support this war in the Middle East, and as long as you support Israel's actions in Gaza and Palestine, you have no moral high ground. No, not even over the abortion crowd. Sorry, you've nullified it. Don't bring that at me. By the way, Israel is now closing one of the most historic Christian villages in Palestine. Israel military closes Palestinian Christian village of Tebeh, citing settler attacks. No, they're going in there and they're seizing the land, and I bet you they burn the whole place down because Jesus Christ walked on that land. That's what they're doing. They're going in there to burn one of the most holy Christian cities on the planet. And you watch, these Christian cucks won't say anything about it because they're all cucked by Israel. All of them. And as Columbia, remember guys, Columbia, we played yesterday, the rabbi that was at the presidential inauguration ball, and the rabbi got up there and said, "Long live Israel forever." So this is all happening as there's an earthquake, one of the biggest earthquakes ever in Colombia, and they're out here putting out press releases in support of Israel. Colombia is out here doing press for Israel in the middle of their biggest earthquake ever. Death toll rises to 132 in Colombia earthquake. This deal was crazy, guys. The footage from this was crazy. And all they're doing right now on social media is praising Israel. It's one of the craziest things I've ever seen. No idea. By the way, did you guys see this picture of Anne Hathaway apparently pregnant? People think it's a fake pregnancy. What's up with this? What is going on? Some of them I feel like, yeah, we've seen the baby bump slip. It's like, yeah, we've seen the things that don't add up. This whole thing at first glance was off to me, but I didn't even think she's faking it. So how big of a conspiracy theory are you today? Do you think Anne Hathaway is faking a pregnancy? Oh, crazy world. Crazy world. What a day. What a show, huh? We had all kinds of stuff on the show today. Powering through tech issues, too. Making my audience deaf. Well, welcome to the club. How that one hits you and not me, I'll never know. That is a true mystery. How that audio weapon hit you and not me, I have no idea. And that's what I was testing with that other video, because I thought, oh, okay, maybe it's sending out audio, but it's not sending it to me. But then when I played the other video, it didn't send audio to you. So I have no idea what happened with that. I apologize to anybody that has tinnitus. That is, blame StreamYard. Sue them. I'm kidding. Don't sue anybody, please. They'll say I sent you. All right, let's do our super chats before we sign off today. Another Jeff Bezos Phallus rocket. We're going to send, we should send Katy Perry. We'll send her up there with Justin Trudeau this time. It'll be fun. They'll do a music video. Tay, Bernie, Will, and Preg, AOC's eggs. Byron at my local VFW. Less than 20 people at the Byron Donalds rally. That Florida race is getting interesting as we are in single digits, I believe. What are you, 8 days away now? Sorry, Faga, Hunter Biden bashing doesn't hit anymore. No, it only hits if you demand Trump do something about it. That's it. Hunter Biden bashing makes no sense unless you're going to demand Donald Trump do something about it. Anything other than that, it's worthless. Fishback already spread the fish with Valeria. This guy. I'm 36, 6 months younger than you. What is old? I don't know. This is the first time I've ever felt old. 37 is the first time I've ever actually felt old. I don't know if you can you even describe, it's a thing. It's an essence. I don't know. Maybe it's seeing the younger kids staying young. You just keep getting old. Double Barrels 2026. That's my write-in. Owen, if a Jew is in the spirit, Roman 28:29, what skin color are they or they don't have? I don't know. Same old promises, different election. Clown world. Why did you ever let your hair stop mass deportations? It was never my intention. I thought maybe we could speed him up. I don't know. Oh, and I can't emphasize how important you are, our nation, just from reading super chats out loud and phone calls. Your ex-boss and Roger Stone are cucks. Are those the type of super chats that you're happy I'm reading? Just don't get me in trouble, you know? That's all. We gotta preserve the channel. We gotta preserve the show. Think about it. DHG. I saw them calling you on X a money grifter, but you have to be the worst grifter. Garage studio, internet outages, barely any ads. You would make more money working for Fox or Daily Wire if it was about money for you. Yes, well, I don't really know if there's anything else for me to say. I could respond, but I think you guys get it. I think you guys get it. They know. They know there's no grift here. It's all projection, honestly. It's all projection. That's what I've become. I've become a mirror of these people. So everything they're yelling at me, they're just yelling into the mirror. The real Emperor Palpatine, Owen is not going to stop trying to get sneakily get you to vote Democrat. Voting for the same people is not a middle finger. Owen is not going to stop trying to sneakily get you to vote Democrat. I don't know. You think, hey, vote for whoever you want, dude. I'm not here to promote anybody. I'm here to cover news and talk policy and results or lack thereof, and maybe have some fun along the way. What have conservatives actually conserved? And isn't that the ultimate question? Isn't that the mystery of it all? They haven't conserved our borders. They haven't conserved our culture. They haven't conserved our military from being bought out by foreign interests. What have they conserved? No idea. Now they're just conserving corruption, I guess. Titanic endgame has arrived. S&P 500 in full-fledged boom-bust condition, as observed via useful chart. Cynical adjusted P&E. Well, they're just doing a bunch of pump and dumps now, but I do anticipate a crash. I think a crash is inevitable. But they're going to prop it up and pump and dump it as much as they can in the meantime. Trump will have contributed over 40% to the national debt by himself when the time he is done. I think he's at he's about 20% right now. 40% might be high, but who knows? He's got another 2 years. Let's not give him any ideas. Yeah, Trump has put more national debt on the country than any two presidents combined. Trump is the farthest thing from a fiscal conservative. And I think the realization, the understanding at this point just has to be, guys, Trump doesn't really think about anything. Like there's this whole notion, 6D chess, oh, he's a genius. Trump just fires from the hip. He just makes stuff up. He just does stuff. He doesn't think about the consequences. He just figures, oh, I'll deal with it when it's time. Trump has been a fiscal disaster for this country, a nightmare. We'll never recover, actually. This country will never recover from what Trump has done to the economy, guys. It's just true. The permanent damage was done in 2020. That's the truth. The state of the economy is all because of what Trump did in 2020. Now, you can blame Biden. I'm not defending Biden. Biden was no good for the economy. But Trump is the one that did it. Trump is the one that did the permanent damage to the economy. And I have a feeling he's going for round two in his second half of his second administration. Trump has been a disaster for the economy. And it's so crazy because the first 2 years, he was like that was the real economic boom. 2017, 2018, that's when the economic boom was happening. That's when the economic policies were banging. And then he crushed us with COVID, did the permanent damage, and now we're just cooked. Trump will leave the national debt over $50 trillion, but who cares? The kiddos can pay it off. Yeah, with your Trump accounts, right? Your free money Trump accounts. Oh, when the stock market crashes, it'll be worth zero. And he and all his friends will make all that money off the stock market. A big, giant insider trading scam before they collapse this country. What if Trump secretly wants people to vote Democrat because all of his friends are Democrats? That's why I think the third party is the best answer. The farm girl. It looks inevitable. The coalition is building. The leaders are emerging. Where is the new Air Force One anyway? Trump was bragging about that his first term. It's not done. Boeing can't get it done. Who knows? Boeing, for some reason, cannot get Air Force One done. I have no idea. I heard Lutnick wasn't on the decoy plane that day because he had to drive his son to school. Loomer also couldn't make it aboard for some reason. What a coincidence, Valiant. I'm not sure either of those things are true, but I get the joke. 94% of the jobs created go to everyone but straight white men. Now I'm wondering if you're not stretching those numbers, meat stretcher. Below budget and ahead of schedule. Trump doesn't say that anymore. Yeah, there's a lot of things Trump doesn't say anymore, actually. We'll get mass deportations if Owen cuts the lettuce. I'll do it right now. I'll do it right now. And I'm even thinking about doing like this bit. Maybe the next round, whenever all the MAGA hate comes my way, the MAGA 5 minutes of hate, be like, hey, all right, guys, here's what I'll do. I'll make a bet right now. If Trump ends up deporting 20 million people If Trump ends up arresting 10 deep state members, I don't know, qualify it, Biden, Obama administration officials, 10 of them arrested. If Trump gets us out of the Middle East, it's like I'll just put a list of caveats that were all part of the campaign promises. And I'll just say, if Trump does all of this stuff before he leaves office, I'll shave my head bald and I'll go off the air. That'll be it. I won't do a show anymore. And I'll bet it all that none of that is going to happen. But if none of it happens and Trump leaves office, what should they do? They should all give me $1,000. Probably more, honestly. I mean, we're talking about my living. We're talking about my career. So I wonder if they'd be willing to make that bet. I will bet my entire career that Trump doesn't do these things. And then if he leaves office and none of them happen, any haters out there that want to take that bet to get me off air and shave my head and disappear and all of that, take that bet, $1,000. Really, I'm not even asking that much. $1,000. $1,000. Bet $1,000 that you think Trump is actually going to deliver on these campaign promises. How many are willing to do it? How many MAGA people are willing to bet $1,000 that Trump is going to do any deep state arrests? How many people that love Trump and wear the MAGA hat proudly, how many of them are willing to bet $1,000 that Trump will deport 20 million people? I bet none of them will. I'll bet my whole career that none of this will happen. That's my confidence level. How many of you are actually confident that Trump is going to do the things he said he was going to do? Or will you chicken out because you know that's not going to happen and you don't want to lose $1,000, especially not in this economy? You know, the golden age Trump economy that's so great. You probably can't risk $1,000 because the economy's so bad right now. DeSantis over Hot Wheels. No doubt. Greg Abbott sucks. Elon says H-1Bs are more intelligent than Americans. Has he ever been to India? Look, there's an argument on both sides of this, but it shouldn't even be about the argument. It should be about the policy. Hire American. And that was part of the campaign, too. So just another trait, just another complete betrayal. Salty Badger, I'll follow you into battle, but not a cinema. You repeatedly name trash movies and have slept on young George Washington all summer. Literally the only Patriot flip. The young George Washington movie. Maybe I'll check it out. But no, I'm the best movie reviewer you know. So maybe you have a bad taste. Who is amazed? AI will never be sentient. AI equals alien invasion. I voted for Fishback and Matt Taylor. You must have early voted. I don't trust Fish Jew, and you're shilling for him. Whoa. All right. So who do you trust? Do you live in Florida? Ivan, I sent a YouTube link last night about Kyle Kalinske calling you principled ahead of the game and how in the hell you have to deal with MAGA. I didn't see that. Kyle Kalinske, huh? That'd be an interesting collab. Battle of the Fake Blondes. It's on, Kyle. Battle of the Fake Blondes. I appreciate that. I'm curious what, well, it is true. I mean, the left wing is observing. A lot of them have reached out, but the left wing is observing the absolute MAGA hatred and rage that I drive out of them just by stating simple facts or by just shooting a video. I mean, maybe Kyle is looking to tap into some of that. Maybe Kyle is saying, damn, how come I never got this response when I dyed my hair? Maybe I can give Kyle a couple pointers. But see, but the difference is with Kyle is that he's not a decorated MAGA soldier. So they don't really, it's like I embarrass them when I call them out. You know, I've got like a whole chest full of awards and I'm like, you guys are cucks. So that makes them look like fools. You know, I don't think Kyle ever supported Trump. I'm guessing he didn't support Trump. But you know what? It's people like me and Kyle unifying over common issues, finding common ground, debating where, you know, people on each side can make sacrifice or make compromises. I'm sure we're about the same age. That's going to be maybe the next step, if there is one, to fixing the country. And I've got, well, I don't want to get ahead of myself because I actually have a thing I'm going to say about that. But a shout out for Kyle Kalinske. I like that. Good. Very nice. Boomers lived it up, had their fun with Woodstock and everything else, rebelling against their parents who called them the me generation, and now they can't stand their old age and seeing kids enjoying their youth. Well, they had it worse, don't you know? I didn't even get into the boomer stuff today. It's like I'm just avoiding it. It's sitting in the stack. Tucker has the right to throw up double barrels too. Everybody wants it. Jay Williams, Owen, we need to be honest. Before Trump went rogue, even if he stayed the path of what he promised, all he was doing was slowing the tide. America has been on a decline since the 70s. Yeah, everybody agrees with that. And then when you say, hey, we should try something differently, they get mad at you and tell you, no, can't do that. Hunter Biden laptop arrest pressure was being thrown around in 2023 when Israel needed bombs for Gaza. And then the Epstein files being thrown around when Israel needed war with Iran. I don't know, just a coincidence. Well, the whole Biden laptop, I don't really, I don't know. I feel like I don't trust Hunter on that. I don't think so. I think he probably was at a low point maybe in his life or, you know, high or something, and he dropped his laptop off and the rest is history. I don't know. He's denying that. At this point, it's like, what difference does it make if Trump's not going to go after the Biden family? If Trump's going to honor the pardon of the auto pen, then it's just like, well, what difference does it make? Data centers are for creating a parallel AI reality where the world is copied. Everything you do is predicted in the AI world. Reason is to store as much information as possible to recreate this parallel AI world to the best possible accuracy. I buy that. I wouldn't say that's the sole purpose, but I buy that for sure as a purpose. DMT has to go after that. No, that one's not on DMT. I'll take, it's definitely not on DMT. If anything, it's on me, but I'm telling, that's a StreamYard thing, guys. That whatever that deal was, I have no idea. They switched their settings again. It's just, they're doing stuff behind the scenes, and it's like really clunky to do that while people are still using the platform. Tim, the mortgage guy. Thank you, Tim. The video sounded like aliens were trying to contact you. Well, maybe that's what it was. It's funny during that video, too, where, you know, the girl is looking like an android. I don't know. Maybe NPCs are real. I don't know. Maybe aliens are trying to contact me. Beam me up. Get me the hell out of here. Give me the power. Remember your friends, bikes in the driveway. CERN. Jordan Walker. Dropped a penny. The technocrats want a revolution. We need to be careful and calculated. Love and light. No fear and violence. Check out the new Mortal Kombat movie. Which one? Like, there's the one that just came out with Carl Urban as Johnny Cage. I have not seen that one. There was another one that came out a couple years ago. It's all right. It was all right. I give it a 3 out of 5 stars. It was. I enjoyed watching it once, but I probably won't watch it again. Terrestrial Laura sent out a formal email to opt out of Trump's harassing emails. Fingers crossed. Loved getting through on the phone and all you are doing. Tara, thank you. Thank you, Tara. Are you, like Chase Geyser, a Freemason Christian, starting to seem it? Thanks for hanging up on the call. Won't be calling or donating again. Okay. If Trump didn't do arrests in 2016, he won't ever. Well, there used to be plausible deniability saying he thought he would win a second term, but there's no plausible deniability over it now. Anti-Fishback, non-Floridians, and/or J, and/or bot. By the way, no, I am not in the Freemasons, just to address that, because there'd be a conspiracy if I didn't. So there you go. All right, that's going to do it for today. We got to bounce. I got a long interview. It's going to be published later. Well, I'll just keep it a mystery as to who I'll be sitting down with tonight for a long-form interview. But you'll probably be seeing it soon. We sign off. We're going to take a full 21-hour break this time. Can you believe it? We never do that. 21-hour break. We'll do it all again. Same time, same channel tomorrow. God bless and Godspeed. Oh, get your shirt. Get your disobey propaganda shirt. OwenSchroyer.store.